Hello everyone and welcome to the AVoCADo GamesCast, the only gaming podcast not sponsored by Stamps.com. Yet. We're going to spend most of this episode talking about some of the recent games we've been playing and how they reflect broader industry trends. My name's Merve, and joining me, he's filling his meat pies with kielbasa, it's Science's Ben.
Hi, it's me, Ben.
Wait, what? Who's intro for?
And making his triumphant return to the podcast after a couple years away, you all know and love him, it's the Ninjaneer.
Come on, they don't love me.
Everybody, let's just make a standing ovation for Ninjaneer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that sound like clapping? Okay, it does sound like clapping.
I hope.
Good.
Yeah, I hope so.
Is that the sound of one hand clapping?
It could be. It could be. It could be like one hand hitting like an arm. That's,
Okay.
Sure.
That's one hand clapping. I love how confused Ben was because he clearly didn't read the intro before we recorded.
I read it and I was like, I hope we say what at the same time, but Ben was super confused.
Yeah, I haven't read the little fucking thing yet.
The little fucking thing. Yeah.
We're so professional.
What's the little fucking thing called? What's the little fucking thing?
It's funny.
Agenda.
Give me a
It's his
break.
agenda.
We're all running on just a little bit of sleep. We get tired. It's okay. We're all friends here.
Went all yesterday to
Sure,
William's
yeah.
birthday party.
Yeah.
So I take it I'm the only one that got 12 hours sleep then?
I
got
believe
8.
so.
I got a good 8.
I was up until 3 a.m. typing.
Yikes.
Yeah, life is grand.
I woke up at 4:30 a.m. to do a podcast.
Nice. You know, I've been there too. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, time zones are so weird. Why do we
They
even have
are.
time zones? Like,
I don't know.
Why do we
Switch
even
to
have
Switch time?
yeah,
Switch
forget about
time.
Yeah, we're getting into like Jaden Smith territory right now.
Yeah.
Get rid of time altogether.
Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah.
If we got rid of time, we'd all be more connected with each other because our mirrors have eyes, something like that. So Ninja, apparently you
I didn't even get an intro.
did. You did get an intro.
You did though.
You did. I
Ben,
said
you
Science
did.
is Ben. It was a joke about how he stuck you together.
Ben,
Because,
please.
you know, Australian meat pies, Polish kielbasa, you know, was sticking you together. You were like merging into one person.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
To the Ben and Salty cast.
He's very salty. It's Ben. Hey Ben, how?
Yay!
Salty,
One
salty,
thing.
just like your meat pies filled with sausage.
Wait,
Okay.
why is my meat pies filled with sausage? What the fuck is
Well,
going on?
The kielbasa was the Polish thing, and then meat pies were your thing, and he mushed them together, and we're explaining this
We're explaining
very
the joke now.
okay, like medium okay joke for like 5 minutes, and I'm sure it's excellent podcasting.
The podcast is off to a rollicking good start.
Yeah.
So
It's like,
super professional.
Hey, listeners, I hope you're still tuning in.
All 5 of our listeners are now like, fuck this podcast. Get out of here.
What the fuck have I been listening to for
worst-
51 episodes?
The worst part is one of the people saying "fuck this podcast" will likely be me. As I'm listening to a podcast that I'm on.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're losing Ninjaneer!
Once we lose the ninja, we've lost everyone.
Oh no!
Okay,
Speaking
so
of listener
video games.
complaints,
Video games.
Speaking of listener complaints, before we go in, my wife wanted to correct us from last episode, saying they're Tom Nook's nephews, not kids.
Oh, yeah. Okay, corrections time.
So
That's
Tom-
right, because Nintendo characters are not allowed to have sex.
No, they're all
Only
nephews.
their siblings are allowed to have sex, I guess.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, but their siblings aren't characters.
Okay, so wait. I gotta ask then, where does Bowser Jr. come from if Bowser didn't fuck?
No,
I
Bowser Jr. comes from like a trash heap on the other side of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Okay, so Bowser Jr. is like
Jr.
adopted.
Peach's child.
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah, adopted. Just a trash baby.
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of offensive. All right.
Do you think the other Bowser kids feel really rejected that Bowser like had a new son and then just completely forgot about their existence.
I didn't want to be offensive. I just described him. He was a garbage heap baby. That's like, yeah. Sorry, Bowser Jr. I'm sorry. I didn't.
It's actually
Right.
Doug Bowser's kid.
So
How about that?
the other Bowser
Okay.
kids, like what are the other Bowser kids even called? They're the Koopalings, right? Like Wendy and shit like that.
Yeah, they all have like their own names, and like they just got completely rejected as soon as Bowser Jr. existed. Like, get out of the. No one's
So it's
getting
like a
it.
realistic family where the parents have a favorite kid, and they heap all the praise on that kid, and the other kids overachieve and go to grad school, and their parents still don't like them. And
Oh wait, so you're saying that he was adopted was a joke? I thought it was real. Like he isn't adopted?
No, I think Merv is just trying to work out some trauma
Yeah,
he
I
had.
think
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
very
okay.
personal for Merv.
yeah, it's starting to get weird. I'm not adopted. Don't. I was gonna say don't worry, but it wouldn't be anything to worry about even if I were.
Sorry.
Well, your parents haven't told you about it yet.
I mean, they come up with some pretty elaborate stories about how I emerged from. You know what? I don't need to finish that sentence.
What?
Um,
Where are we going with this? What is this podcast? What is happening?
okay, so video games.
Yeah,
I mean, I
so-
guess we
yes.
were talking about video games. We were talking about Bowser and our friend Birdo, whom we talk about all the time. Ninja, apparently you've been playing Resident Evil 7 very long time after it came out.
Well, actually, I haven't been playing Resident Evil 7 because I've been ignoring that game for over 2 years now. So,
It's a good game though.
yeah, it is a good game. I like the game. I played it for about, 71 minutes, but
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to it since the day I
It's a
bought it.
testament to the quality of the game.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
worth
have.
71 minutes.
Yeah, it's worth exactly 71 minutes. So
Wait,
if
was it
it's
actually like 71 minutes, or is it like 62 minutes with a bathroom break? Because Steam doesn't factor in bathroom
Yeah,
breaks,
exactly.
and it's
So
completely
it's-
overinflated my time playing.
so
like-
if you paid $60 for it, it's $1 a minute value. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, I'm pretty sure I played it for exactly 71 minutes because
Okay.
I don't remember going to the bathroom when I played the game. I just
Alright.
remember going to the bathroom after I played the game and never coming back.
Okay.
But-
Oh, because it made you shit your pants because that's scary.
No.
Just put in the kibosh on that right away. Okay.
It wasn't scary at all. Ninja's well used to that by now.
Let's not spread any rumors.
But
Okay.
I did play Resident Evil 2 recently. I've been trying to do like a no death run, which I've been failing at. I did get a S plus ranking for
Ooh, nice.
standard mode for Claire.
Yeah, very good.
So I celebrated not playing Resident Evil 7 by playing Resident Evil 2.
That's a very good
There you
choice,
go.
actually. I think
So-
because that's a better game.
Okay, so here's what I don't get. In like Japanese games, why is there an S above an A?
Superb.
Supreme.
It's super.
Superior.
Superior.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first game to do it was Devil May Cry, which is stylish.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think like
Fucking stick style and all that stuff.
I think games before Devil May Cry had S ranks. I think so.
Like S ranks
Actually,
exist
you might be
outside of video
right, yeah.
games. It's like a Japanese thing. They talk about like
Yeah.
S class things.
Okay, yeah.
I think. I don't know. You know what? We should look
You know,
this up.
we're talking out of our ass, I think. So
Yeah.
maybe we should just like check ourselves before we wreck ourselves.
Thanks, Ice Cube.
No problem. Always here to correct you and everyone else.
Wow. Wow.
Man, Wikipedia does not have much info on it. It
On
has
S-
No
one
one ever
sentence.
does. I think this is probably like the 15th time I've heard that question asked, and no one has an answer because no one asks anyone from Japan.
Time to write
So
into
we
the
should
answer
so,
man on.
so next episode we were going to Japan only to ask one person about the S class thing.
I can't afford that science.
Rock up in Japan and you're like, hey, what the fuck's with the S class thing? And then it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go
Okay,
away,
so
what are
we
you talking
pull our money together and send one of us to Japan. And it's going to be me.
we there are
Who
actually
are the
people
closest?
in
Exactly.
there are actually people in the AVoCADo community, the AVoCADo being the community that spawned this podcast, who actually live in Japan and might be able to answer this question for us.
Please write in.
avocado?
To the... What?
Sorry?
What the fuck's the avocado?
I have no idea.
Okay, so now Ben is just like, living on Earth 2 or
It's
something
the
right now.
agenda,
It's all good.
Ben.
clearly I didn't read it.
Exactly. You're just showing your lack of knowledge. It's embarrassing.
I just think Ben doesn't know how to read, and he's embarrassed.
Exactly. It's just like we're exposing you here, so maybe.
Ben is the Joel McHale of the podcast. Because Joel McHale actually does have dyslexia, so he has a problem reading the teleprompter. To remember everything.
Oh.
So that actually makes his role on the soup all the more impressive. Means
Yeah,
he improv a lot.
Yeah.
I have newfound respect for Joel McHale.
Okay, let's move on from dunking on Ben.
Oh, we're never going to move on from that. That's going to be a constant throughout the podcast.
So it's time for Sonic Watch 2019.
Okay, I guess it is time for Project Sonic Watch 2019. Which Sonic games have you guys been playing lately?
None.
Nobody's playing any Sonic.
I actually started playing Sonic Heroes.
Why? That's like the worst one.
Yeah, it is.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I quit, and I was like, fuck, I really need to go back and beat that one day. And then I played it for 10 minutes and was like, wow, this is really fucking bad.
Well, you can't quit.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can't quit Sonic. You just can't. That's just like a thing that you can move on from.
Ben,
And neither can hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people apparently, because Sonic is still a thing. I can't believe it.
Best.
It's because it keeps every 5 Sonic games is kind of good.
Oh god, that should bury any other franchise on this earth. Like what?
Oh yeah, I know. It's just
You can't make 4 bad games, 1 good game, and then people are like, "Hey, Sonic's back."
that's what happens though. It's a Sonic cycle.
Have you looked?
Sonic
No,
Mania was
I
good,
can't
and then
believe it.
Sonic Forces came out was meh.
Oh my god, it's the
Sonic
porn
Forces
stuff,
was
isn't
not
it?
bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Australians love Sonic Forces. That's what we've
No,
concluded.
that is the most generous description of the quality of that game I've ever heard. Sonic Forces is a fucking trash fire.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Hey. Hey, but they almost killed Sonic, though.
Yeah, for 20 seconds, and then they're like, oh, actually, no, he's just stuck on a space station?
Can't believe
They
it.
sell that fake death.
Can't believe it. I can't believe this is still happening 2019. It has to be some kind of fetishization of Sonic. It's just I'm not sure what's happening, but people are either in love with him or I don't know what's happening.
In all seriousness, people have a lot of nostalgia for the early games in the series, which were probably pretty good. I don't know. I didn't play them. And that nostalgia has carried the brand for a couple of decades now.
And I know Ninjaneer I know that there's a lot of things on the internet that proves that people are in love with Sonic.
No, I was going to say we're all going to go to Poland. We're going to watch the Sonic movie together.
Oh God! Why? So much money spent to torture me. Why? Just to torture one man. I can't believe it.
I mean, is it even gonna? Are they even gonna show it in Poland?
I mean, sure, why not?
There's always a way.
It's probably some rundown indie theater because in Poland apparently Sonic's an indie movie.
Sure. Yeah. We can't do that. I'm sure it will gather the art scene in Poland because they will be just.
It's showing after it's like a double feature with the latest Terrence Malick film or something.
Yeah. Just this is this is from United States. It's the latest Sonic movie. I haven't heard about it.
Is that your snooty film critic accent?
Yep, that's exactly it.
Okay.
It's that little indie film created by Paramount Studios.
Yeah.
It's a little indie movie. Nobody has heard about it. I don't know why I jump into Finnish accent when I'm doing something.
Because all the film, what else is there to do in Finland? You can fish or you can watch
We
Sonic.
are going to get some letters again.
Wow.
Yeah, from our 18 Finnish fans.
Yeah, all of the people listening to this podcast are from Finland, so good luck.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of good stuff in Finland. There's... I'm honestly drawing a blank here, and I need you guys to rescue me.
God, move on, please, Merve, no.
Excellent
Digging
social
your
safety
grave.
net. Excellent social safety net. There.
Oh,
got
there
it.
you go. Okay.
Okay. So I've been messing around with lately Super Mario Maker 2, which recently came out. And I haven't really played much of the 2D Mario platformers. So I'm not really approaching this from a nostalgia perspective. I'm more approaching it from the perspective of having seen so much of the first Mario Maker, but not owning a Wii U and wanting to get in on that action. So,
How would you not own a Wii U though?
Same reason I don't own an N-Gage.
Oh, come on now.
That's a low blow.
Come on.
Oh, man.
That is a low blow,
That is a
man.
low blow.
I'm kidding. I just didn't have...
You do own an N-Gage, obviously.
Yeah.
The N-Gage is like the Tiger
Oh.
Game Com.
Come on, guys. Obviously, I own an N-Gage. I'm not a square.
I almost said same reason. I almost said same reason I don't own an Ouya, but that would have been way too low a blow.
Oh, yeah. That's...
So,
What's
no,
the name of the Soulja Boy console? What's the name of that one?
I don't know, but it's dead now. It doesn't exist anymore.
It's like Soldier Game or some shit.
Soulja Game. God damn it.
Yes, it was more simple than you thought it was, Science.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
was
just
he-
should have said. Yeah.
Is he still going by Soulja Boy Tellum? Or has he
Yes,
dropped
he
the
is.
Tellum? Okay,
No,
the
he
Tellum
is still Soldier Boy Tellum.
Okay, the Tellum is still an integral part of his name.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just that publicly he has been shortened to Soldier Boy. It's not like when Little Bow Wow grew up and he decided to just be Bow Wow.
Yeah.
You know, he is still technically Soldier Boy Tellum.
Okay.
So how old did he have to get before he becomes Soldier Man? Because he's almost 30.
Soldier
We're never
adult. I'm Soldier adult.
We are never going to refer to that man as Soldier Man.
Soldier
Ever.
man.
Soldier Boy
seems
will be
like
like in his 60s, and he's like, yeah, I'm still Soldier. Like, Soldier.
I'm just Soldier. I'm
I
just
don't-
Soldier.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that
sh-
would work. Just take out the boy, like, and just go Soldier.
I mean,
Take
Big
out the
Boy is
boy.
Big
Take
Boy
out
is
the
pushing
boy.
50, and he's still Big Boy.
Yeah, it was boy with an I. That's different.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
It's a boy. It's like the boy. It's different.
Yeah. A boy.
So yeah, I've been messing around with Super Mario Maker 2, and no, I didn't have a Wii U because I just couldn't afford it at the time, and it had only like two games I wanted.
Justify why you don't have a Wii U, Merv.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think you need
I
to.
wanted to play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and they're never going to port it to the Switch because it sold like 8
Right.
copies. So, anyway, I have been messing around with it. I've been playing the story mode. I suck at 2D platformers, so I suck at the story mode. And I've recently started messing around with some of the user-created levels. I'm enjoying Auto Marios, which nobody else enjoys, but they're a novelty for me. So that is an interesting use of the mechanics I always found. I'm used to these sort of auto levels because I don't know if you guys remember the old game N, like before
Yeah.
N plus and N plus plus, like back the old freeware version. So I used to make levels for that way back in the day, and there were a whole bunch of user-created levels, and there's this class of levels called DDAs for Don't Do Anything. And I played a whole crap ton of those when I was a kid. So it's a nice throwback for me to that era of gaming.
Sure.
And you guys been messing around with Super Mario Maker 2, or I'm kind of on an island here?
Only thing I know is that
No, please. Go
well,
on.
the only thing I know about Super Mario Maker 2 is that you can't play with friends. That is
Okay.
the only thing I know about that game, outside of like the basic mechanics.
Yeah, so currently you can't play with friends online in the co-op mode, but they're patching that in at an unspecified later date due to
Also, it's
fan
like
outcry.
anti-union or something.
It's like what, sorry?
Anti-union or something. I keep seeing screenshots.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I've
so
seen
that okay, I can contextualize that in the story mode. It's kind of clowning on Toadette for saying that. It's like screenshots been lifted out of context, and they're kind of
Okay.
clowning on Toadette for complaining about her workers.
Okay.
But I haven't finished the story mode. Maybe it will turn around and become super anti-union, and it'll be revealed that.
I've been thinking about buying it. Are you enjoying it?
I'm gonna piss off a lot of Nintendo fans right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it as much as I think I should, and that's because I'm gonna drop a super hot take on you guys right now. Mario is not a great modern 2D platformer.
Yeah, you know what is? Sonic.
No,
Okay, that is a spicy
lie.
take.
That is just a lie.
That is some cayenne pepper in that take, man.
That is just a lie.
No,
What is a
okay,
good
so
2D?
let me explain why I say that.
Okay.
So there are a lot of conveniences in more modern 2D platformers that we might be used to, control-wise. Mario does weird things like mapping both grab and jump to the face buttons, but you have to hold down one of the buttons to grab. So if you want to jump and continue grabbing at the same time, you have to twist your thumb in ways it wasn't meant to be twisted. It's not fun. I don't know why they do this. Because there are so many shoulder buttons.
No, it has been done like that in the past, so they're just like...
but it's an unnecessary holdover from the past. I think it just make everybody's lives easier.
Hold up, Merve. Real question I need to ask here is, what button is the button to hold an item, and then obviously jump is the B button, right? Yeah. So is it Y that's the hold button?
It's the run button. It's the X, I think.
X or Y.
Is it X?
So A and B do the same thing, and X and Y do the same thing. Because
why
because
not just use the one above the jump button to hold it, and then use the bottom of your thumb to actually jump?
No, like that's what you're meant to do. I get that, but it's awkward awkward to kind of move your thumb up and down. So sometimes you'll need to move your thumb to press Y but not A. Sometimes you'll need to use the base of your thumb to press A but not Y. It's not fun to do that. I'd rather control them with separate fingers.
Yeah.
Because
I see what you're saying.
If you want to do, I know a lot of Japanese games do that thing where you're like pressing two buttons at once with one finger. I get that, and sometimes it works pretty well. Like Bayonetta does it for like the ultimate attacks, right? You press X and A at the same time, and that works because
it's one button press.
Yeah, it's one button press. But here you're like moving. You're like you have to keep holding down X and then push the base of your thumb on A, or you have to push the base of your thumb on A and then slide the pad of your thumb over to X. It's not well implemented, and there's shoulder buttons that are free that would be easier for this purpose.
I get it, because here's the difference. I grew up on the first three Marios, so at least with Mario 3 and then Mario World and all that was like part of how you actually did it. So I have like years of experience of doing that, and if you didn't play any of the 2D Marios, you would.
I have no muscle memory for it, so it's really painful. I don't like doing it.
Yeah,
like if I tried to do that on with those on two separate fingers, I would have fucked it up. So I get it.
It's something that you don't have. Is like, I mean, the 2D platformers I grew up were PC platformers. So
ooh, oh boy.
We had this conversation last time.
I know we did. Oh god.
I'm a Commander Keen boy.
No. Oh man.
Sorry, but Commander Keen boy.
You are criticizing Mario, and you say that you are a fan of Commander Keen.
Yeah, because Commander Keen's better.
Mario.
What did you say, Justin?
I said Commander Keen's a better game than Mario. Mario doesn't have a pogo stick.
Exactly.
This is blasphemy.
Does Mario have a ray gun and a Green Bay Packers helmet?
I am like that. I am like that guy in Indiana Jones. I'm just
Mario has no respect for his headwear.
My face is melting away.
Yo, okay, Mario has no respect for his headwear. He just throws his hat at things like a fucking idiot.
Keen, on the other hand, is still wearing that helmet in his 40s. He loves that helmet.
That's questionable.
In the fucking family portrait in the new mobile game after he's given birth to the Doomslayer. Did Mario... well, he didn't give birth, but is Mario's son the Doomslayer? Did Mario's son fight hell for a millennia? No.
Mario can't even...
You don't freaking know what Mario did, okay? In his downtime. He could have been like...
He went racing. We saw it. There's like 8
That-
games of it.
That was a job. He got paid for that. You don't know what he did outside of that, okay? Miyamoto stated that they're just like a troop of people playing different roles, and outside of that, Mario can be like a gosh darn. I don't know. No, he's not just playing. You know, he hasn't plumbed for years. He has retired, I think.
He was supposed
Like,
to be a carpenter at first.
yeah. Also that,
They
like,
thought that was
he's-
too Jesus-y? Is that
Yeah.
what?
our Lord and Savior Mario.
Yeah, Mario was supposed to run the Mushroom Kingdom Home Depot, but you know he had to save the princess instead.
Yeah.
Who would
Okay.
even
Well,
shop at the Mushroom Kingdom Home Depot? Like,
Shy guys.
shy guy?
Toad.
Aren't they too shy to shop in public?
No, they aren't. I think they
Lost
proved
goal.
that.
I
that-
can't.
Yeah,
But it's the booze.
It's the booze.
Yeah,
maybe
the
it was
booze.
the snippets.
I can't imagine a worse employee than the boo. You just look at him and he just covers his face and doesn't say anything.
No, it's snippets. Because you have these things that like sneeze every 3 times, like 3 times and shoot bullets out their nose.
I think
I don't
Birdo
know.
shops there. Birdo
No.
definitely shops there.
We always get to Birdo, and then the conversation swivels into something weird.
Yeah, let's skip.
You
the
make
first-
it weird. I like Birdo. I think she's adorable.
How am I making it weird? I love Birdo. And that hole she shoots eggs from, I love that too.
It's called.
You just made it weird. You just made it weird, man.
What? No, I just described exactly what she's
You called it
doing.
a hole, not her mouth. You're just like, it's a hole.
I don't know what it is. She shoots eggs from it.
There's
She-
a
it's,
porn name for it.
it's a
It's-
cloaca.
Yeah, it's a cloaca. Cloaca.
Yeah, exactly. Cloaca.
It's like
That
a
she's
face
also,
cloaca. Okay.
it's a face cloaca that she also uses to digest things.
You know, like face huggers have.
Okay, great.
Let's move on.
Yeah, so the other thing I was going to say about...
What?
Sorry?
Facehuggers don't have a... Wait! Facehuggers hatch from eggs.
Yep.
Yes, that
But
they implant in
facehuggers
your body.
lay eggs in you.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Did we just break Ben? Off of
We
the
broke.
mic?
Ben's been broken this entire podcast because we woke him up too early for this.
It's 4:30. I don't think we can like talk about cloacas with Ben at 4:30 in the morning because
Oh,
I'm-
Ben's ready to talk about cloacas at any time of day. Trust me.
We are killing Ben with like 30-year-old alien knowledge right now.
I guess
This
when it
podcast is
comes
such a
to
train wreck.
let's be honest though, when it comes to like alien terminology of organs, like we can call it whatever the heck we want.
True.
It's because like yeah, it doesn't have to be a cloaca. We can just call it just an asshole that lays eggs.
I think. Well, the thing about alien anatomy is that it doesn't necessarily have the same analogs to
Yeah,
human
exactly.
or
That's what
mammalian
I'm saying.
anatomy that we'd expect.
Yeah.
So what we
You can-
think of as
yeah,
a
yeah,
mouth,
yeah,
they
you
might
can-
not even have a concept of a mouth.
You can't
Right?
have sex with a face hugger. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's oh god.
Cloaca, cloaca. I mean, you can, but cloacas have to,
There's
permit
a hole in the hole.
I
intercourse.
mean, you
I
can't
get-
have
yeah,
sex with a
I mean-
blue whale, but it still has a vagina or a
That's-
penis.
I mean, I
Tell
don't.
that to John McAfee and his fucking whale sex contest.
Here we go.
I
Okay.
wouldn't have. Okay.
So that's the McAfee antivirus dude who wants to fuck a whale, right?
Yes.
Who has fucked a whale, according to his Twitter.
He has not fucked a whale because it's physically impossible to fuck a whale. It's either the dick is too big to fit inside you, or the vagina is too
Okay.
large to fuck.
I'm
It's
just
not.
rubbing
It's not a
my
fuckable
eyes.
animal.
I'm just rubbing my eyes, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing anymore.
It's not a fuckable animal, guys. Okay, Tom McAfee's not fucked a whale. He just thinks he has because, I mean, I don't want to make. He has mental health issues, and I don't want to make fun of it. But he's not saying things that are true.
I'm so tired. I'm even more tired than Ben, and it's not 4:30 in the morning right here.
Yeah,
I think we've went into some very strange direction. All of this will be cut in the final version of this podcast.
You know, my wife is telling me that whenever I'm on the podcast, it goes more off the rails, and I think I'm starting to see why.
Kappa, I hope you're glad that you weren't here today.
I think it's more like me.
Kappa's really good at keeping the podcast on track, and I'm not, because I just let people talk about whatever the shit they want. That's why I'm so bad at being a leader. But back to Super Mario Maker 2. What I was going to say about it is that I think it actually makes a better argument for Nintendo Switch Online than pretty much everything else about Nintendo Switch Online. Because, it actually works properly.
Yeah.
And you don't need to rely on things like voice chat that are hard to do with the Nintendo Switch. It just, you go online, you download a course, it's seamless. It works super well. And courses download in 5 seconds on a really crappy internet connection. So it's just one of the easiest thing in the world to use. There's just an endless font of user-generated content. It's pretty well sorted. The only downside is if you don't employ language filters, then you won't have any idea what most of the descriptions are saying. Because most of them are in Japanese right now, because it's super, super popular in Japan. I would say a pretty good argument. It's the only reason I have Switch Online, to be honest.
And the NES games.
Oh yeah, I haven't used any of them. I haven't downloaded a single NES game yet.
I played Balloon Fight for 5 minutes.
God, that game sucks, doesn't it?
Oh, shut up! It's great. It's better than Joust, and I'll keep saying that, and people will kill me one day, but I think it's true.
That's a low bar.
How many people?
Oh my god!
How many people even think about Joust?
I think about
people
Joust.
who are trying to 100% DK64.
So 3 people.
And me, that's 4 people. I don't try to. Oh man.
One does not simply 101% DK64.
Wait,
because it is 100.
Actually, you need to beat it to beat the game. I forgot, because you have to beat the original DK, and you have to beat the Joust, so you can get the tokens that you need to unlock the stupid door at the end. Because that game was designed by sadists.
Otherwise known as Rare.
DK64 and finding that arcade that had Jetpack in, and then just playing Jetpack because it was better than Donkey Kong 64.
You know what? I actually have
so much time into Jetpack in that game, and I never.
I found Donkey Kong 64 so boring that I didn't. I played 15 minutes of it. And I was like, "What am I doing with my life?" And I was a kid.
Still better than ukulele. Boom.
Yay!
I don't know.
Shots fired.
That's a low bar.
Sorry.
They make you replay the levels 5 times with different fucking characters.
Oh no, but at least you know where to go. The levels are cleverly laid out in DK64. In ukulele, you have no idea where you fucking are because the levels were designed, I'm assuming, by a machine. That's the only way that you'd be able to navigate them.
So how's that Mario Maker 2, Merve?
Yeah, I said pretty much all I wanted to say about Super Mario Maker 2.
Oh,
I'd say the only thing, as far as how it relates to the industry more broadly, I think this is why people are going to get Switch Online.
Mm-hmm.
If they haven't already, I think it's a good argument for Switch Online, but that's pretty much all I can really say about it.
Okay, Merve, more yay or more nay for you?
I can't form an opinion on it yet because I haven't messed around with the level editor.
Okay.
I was supposed to do that before we recorded this podcast, and then real life got in the way. So
Sure.
I apologize to our 3 listeners that I didn't.
Yeah.
All
All of,
three of
I
them.
like that we've gone from 5 to 3.
no, all of those.
Oh, over the course of this podcast,
Yeah.
we had 5 at the start of this podcast, and
Yeah.
then we started talking about whale dicks, and
No,
you know.
I think we started with 23, and then all of the Finnish people tuned out, and we were down to 3.
Apparently, we had 20 Finnish listeners. On this
Yeah,
podcast,
sorry
and
about that,
3
guys.
people
You
from other
can't
countries.
hear me anymore, but apologies for Merve's insensitivity.
Also, way to just throw Smash Bros under the bus as a reason for getting on Nintendo Online. Like, yeah, no one cares about Smash Bros.
Okay. I should probably care about Smash Bros. I like the original Smash Bros. I've messed around with Brawl a bit. I don't have that much experience with the franchise. You know, it is what it is. I enjoy it for what it is, but I haven't felt compelled to go out and buy Ultimate yet. I might eventually, if it ever goes on sale. But yeah, that is probably a really good reason to Switch Online, is to play Ultimate semi-competitively.
And balloon fight. You can play balloon fight.
Do they have like a balloon fight trophy or something like that in Super Smash Bros.
They don't
Ultimate?
have trophies anymore. They got rid of them.
Oh yeah, what are they called now? They have something else.
Spirits.
Assists?
Spirits.
They have the spirits, but the spirits are just like little sticks. They don't have the little like information about them at all, which sucks. I think there is I think there is a balloon fight assist trophy though.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Nintendo somewhat cares about its legacy, although they still won't make another F-Zero game.
It's still better than Konami.
Oh yeah, at least they don't turn like it's like at least they don't F-Zero pachinko machine.
There probably is, but still.
We should look this up. Is there an F-Zero pachinko machine? You know what? I'm gonna look this up right now, and
You should
listeners know
ask
I'm.
Katana.
Well, if there's
So,
not, I'm designing it right now.
Yes, according to
There's a joke tweet. There's a joke tweet from someone named @TripleKyun on Twitter saying, "Announce the all-new F-Zero pachinko machine," and then it's a link to a Nintendo Direct, but it's a joke tweet. That's the only reference I can find to F-Zero pachinko online. And now I need to save this tweet for the link dump, so allow me to copy-paste this into a text document for future reference.
Yes,
It'll be real by next year.
Oh yeah.
It's real to me now.
Also, Triple Q does awesome like anime video game song mashups on YouTube. They're cool.
Okay, apparently they're like a legit Twitterer, so that's cool. So go shoutouts to Triple Q at Anime Expo. They won't be at Anime Expo at the time that we post this podcast because
It's
Anime Expo does not last 3 weeks, so it should.
Maybe
I need,
it should.
I need to go to Anime Expo at one point. It's like literally down the street from me.
That's pretty far.
I don't know.
I mean, it is like still 2 hours away, but still, it's like a state away. I should probably go.
Do you have a good costume for it?
That's like
No?
saying,
No.
okay, if you say like down the street, it can be 2 hours away. Like if you're on Broadway in New York or Yonge Street in Toronto, you can drive for 2 hours and still be on Yonge Street or Broadway.
Well, it's down Interstate 85.
That counts the street.
Sure.
Counts the street. Yeah.
Honestly, it just trips me out to hear it's like a state away is only 2 hours.
Yeah.
You guys have such little states. It's hilarious.
Like, what if you're on like the coast in say New South Wales? It's not that long to drive to somewhere else on the coast in Victoria, right?
Yes.
Well,
New
then,
South Wales is bigger than Texas.
then all of us don't have giant wastelands in between the states where we have to fight boss battles just to get to the other side.
That is very
Boss battles
true.
have been like really nerfed lately. They had a really hard time in the economy. They're
Right.
mainly just begging for money at this point.
All right.
But that raid boss is still there.
Yeah, he's still hanging out somewhere. Like,
In the
dying.
very middle of Australia, you gotta get to the raid boss.
There is
Right
that
there.
giant boar that was killing cows that people saw from a fucking
That's it.
helicopter,
That's
so,
the one.
Like, you're not 100% wrong.
It was called Ragnaros, and you need 50 people to take it down, and then it respawns. It's
What
very weird.
gear do you get
It's
off?
like you need to do like a pig raid. Is that what you guys do?
No comment.
I mean, kind of.
Do you get any legendary gear off that board?
When I
Legendary.
lived I mean, I know you're joking and everything, but when I lived in the outback, everyone would sit in the back of utes, and there'd be like 5 utes driving around shooting like wild at like pests and everything. So like,
Oh,
you're not that
Jesus.
far off.
Jesus.
So it's more like Borderlands, like we all thought.
Yes.
That's very. That is troubling. Now we lost the.
Rabbits.
Now we lost the Australian audience. Now we're down to one listener.
Yeah. Sorry to Ben's wife for whatever we're doing right now on this podcast.
It's one person.
She'll email us with a correction.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't a boar. It was a warthog. No, it was definitely not a warthog. Because those are in Africa, which is not Australia.
Very different animal.
Yes.
Very different continents.
Yep.
I think they're not the same thing, are they?
Oh, they are
Oh,
not.
yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
Good. Next, I'll find out that Europe and Asia are actually different places.
Nah, pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's Eurasia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a thing. Sometimes people call it one continent called
They
Eurasia.
do.
Well,
They
it is
do.
connected.
They are. The dividing line is more cultural than it is geographic.
There are some tectonic plates, I think, that are like different. Something. Don't
Reunite
remember.
Pangea.
Yeah, sure. We could just like smoosh it up all together. Then we will all fight boars in Australia. Just going to be one big raid.
Speaking of things that aren't Pangea,
Yeah.
I've also been playing this game called Judgment.
Man, what a good segue. Woo!
Yeah.
Just
I
like,
didn't- I-
yeah,
I'm-
I'm done with this shit. We're talking about
It-
judgment.
It took us 51 episodes for you to get so good at segue.
I purposely decided to make that the worst segue possible to illustrate a point.
That's pretty good. I like it.
Anyway,
It's a power move to make
I'm
a segue.
surprised.
this
I'm
bad.
surprised you didn't just go with. Speaking of cocaine, here's Judgment.
so not a lot of cocaine in that game because not a lot of illicit drugs because it's a Japanese video game. So most of the crimes, if they do
So if
happen-
anyone does it, they get fired and digitally replaced from the game.
exactly like Pierre, I was gonna say poor Pierre Taki, but he's rich as shit, so who cares about consequences for him? Yeah, so that game is so far I'm only about I'd say a little over a quarter of the way through, and it's a spin-off of the Yakuza series, so set on the same Kamurocho map that we're all familiar with. But this time, instead of playing as you don't actually play as a Yakuza in Yakuza. That's the funny thing about Yakuza. You play as a guy who keeps trying to get out of the Yakuza life and keeps getting sucked back in. But anyway, you don't play as a crime dude.
Jonah.
Oh yeah, he's an absentee orphanage owner. I don't know where his revenue comes from.
From
I don't-
Yakuza.
It comes from fighting Mr. Shakedown.
That's true. Like whenever he needs more money for the orphanage, he just walks into Okinawa City and just starts beating the shit out of people.
As you
and
do.
steals their money.
Yeah.
So it's all good. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's how they support all orphanages all over the world.
We're really bad with like the adoption and the orphanages and the kids without parents
What?
in this
I'm just
episode.
saying. Like, this is not a way to
We're gonna
support
get
an
so
orphanage.
many angry letters about cloacas and kids.
No!
Not the same letter. There'll be different
let's-
letters.
There'll
be different letters.
God.
Different
Merve,
letters.
Please.
Different letters. Okay.
Sweet Jesus. I don't want the FBI to be listening to us.
The nice thing about having an unpopular podcast is that there's no way the FBI gives a shit about what we say.
Oh,
Suck
boy.
it, J. Edgar Hoover. Anyway, Judgment. So it's a spin-off of the Yakuza game where instead of playing as a crime dude, you play as a private eye. And that means it has some of the same mechanics. You still get into street fights and beat up thugs. But now they've added in some light puzzling, a lot of stealth mechanics, dialogue options. chase mechanics, etc. So that you feel more like a private eye. The story is appropriately a little bit less melodramatic than previous Yakuza games.
Does
Does he still like dramatically rip off his jacket and shirt in one go without actually destroying it so he can show off his dope back tattoo?
Oh, I love that.
I heard there is at least one scene where that happens in.
Because like, what the fuck is the point of playing one of these games if that doesn't happen?
So it hasn't happened. Mild spoilers, has not happened yet. 13 hours into the game.
I heard there's
don't
a
know
scene
about
that it
this.
does happen in, but I'm not sure.
Okay. No, I'll believe you then.
And it's probably like the big melodramatic moment at the end where it's revealed that the protagonist, Takayuki Yagami, actually does have a sweet ass back tattoo. But for now, he's not been shirtless.
And his tattoo is all Japanese kaiju.
That would be pretty amazing. So, what's interesting about Yakuza is that it's kind of part of a trend I've been seeing where now, like, these spin-off games that would otherwise be these experiments or DLC are starting to get full-fledged releases. So, I don't know if you guys remember a few years back, there was, like, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which was a separate release from Far Cry 3.
Yes, that's the only good Far Cry game.
It was only a separate release after it got released as DLC, though. Like, it was originally just a DLC pack, and then they put it on a disc.
You could always download it standalone. So that's how I got it. I got it, like, right after it came out. You could always download it standalone. I should check that to make sure, but I'm fairly certain that the digital release was standalone. So they did the same thing with Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, Infamous First Light. So there's all these games that were like sort of standalone DLC, and now we're getting like these full-fledged, like big budget spin-off games. Like Judgment is the one that comes to mind right now.
But hasn't Yakuza always done that? There was like the Yakuza Dead Souls, the zombie one. There's the 3 samurai games.
There's the Fist of the North Star game.
Yeah.
Which is basically just a Yakuza game.
So what I'd say about those games is that those games, like Dead Souls, has very different mechanics than the Yakuza game. It's more like a thematic spin-off. I'm thinking about a spin-off that sort of shares a lot of the same gameplay traits. And so Fist of the North Star would fit a little bit better, but that's kind of in its own little world and is arguably like a completely different game, even though it's basically just Yakuza Mad Max. This feels like something that could have been.
Yakuza, though.
Sorry?
The samurai ones, weren't they basically just exactly the same game, but like they even had like the same characters just playing historical samurai people? It's fucking weird.
Yeah, those didn't get a Western release though, did they?
No, I don't think they did.
Yeah.
We got Way of the Samurai instead, or something like that.
Yeah, we don't get the good shit. Some guy listening to this right now is like, yeah, I agree. We didn't get Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 3.
Is that one guy that's left listening to this podcast? Please, Merv, don't say anything to just like turn him off.
Doesn't matter. He's on the wrong side of history, and we lost him.
Oh boy! Now no one is listening to us.
We don't even have the titty gamers anymore. Yeah, so it's interesting that now with this kind of move towards like spin-offs being taken seriously almost. I guess like Ben's right, especially the Yakuza series has done it quite a bit. But this is the first time there's been like this full-fledged spin-off that's actually not in a different setting but is legitimately spin-off set that was released in the West. So I think that's interesting. I don't know if they're going to take this Judgment premise any further. The game has gotten a very good reception in Japan and I'd say middling to warm reception here. So it could come out. They could do more with this series. I don't know. We'll see. The other thing I'd say about it is that it's very clearly a marker of being late in a console cycle. This is not a game that would have been released near the start of a console cycle generally, because you don't tend to see these games like at the start of a console cycle, the big guns tend to suck all the oxygen out of the room, and there's no room for games like this. So, yeah, it's interesting that it's releasing now as opposed to earlier or later. I don't know. I guess none of you guys have dipped your toes into Judgment yet.
I'm still
No.
on like Yakuza 4. I'm so behind on this series.
Yeah, I've only played Yakuza just because it was free on PSN.
Yeah, same here.
So I've
Kiwami, I think.
I've played 0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2, and 6. I haven't played 3 through 5 because you can't easily get them anymore. I mean, they still... I have a PS3.
Oh, Yakuza 3 was a pain in the ass to track a copy down, eh?
Yeah,
It's like one of my favorites. It's like my favorite out of the ones I played, though.
Yeah, it's a weird game. I apparently you spend like 10 hours managing an orphanage.
Yeah, and it's really good. Like, it was to the point where, like, you finally end up in Kamurocho after, like, maybe, like, 7 or 8 hours, and I'm like, aww, I want to go back and play with my kids.
Well, doesn't Zero have you spend 10 hours running like what is it?
Host Club?
No,
Hostess Club?
you're doing like shit. What is it called when you sell houses and shit? Real
Oh,
estate.
the real estate
When you
game.
do like
Oh,
real
yeah.
estate development for 10 hours.
Yeah,
That's
true.
really not mandatory. There's most like... You can get away with doing just 20 minutes of that and still beat the game.
But
It's
you
fun,
need
though.
the chicken to help you sell houses.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's
The chicken
wild
you
that
kind
you're like, oh, you only need to do 20 minutes of real estate sales in this game.
So when I played Yakuza 0, I was living with a guy who was doing a master's in real estate, and so he would like watch me play Yakuza 0 because he was like, "Oh, this game's all about real estate. I'm super into this." Although in real life, you don't have to beat up people to make land deals. So,
Oh,
you say.
that's boring.
well, I don't know. Maybe you do. I don't know what the shady New York underworld is like. Maybe you are beating people up there. Who knows? He's a good dude. Wonder what he's up to these days. Anyway,
Make land deals.
yeah, probably.
That's the work for the Kingpin.
He is playing the real Yakuza now.
He was way too white to be in the real Yakuza, but you know,
There are alternatives. There are alternatives.
He could be their real estate agent.
he could be like their part of their New York subsidiary.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a big Yakuza presence in New York. There probably is like a couple of dudes, just keeping an eye on things, see what's happening. I don't know. I'm not an expert on the Yakuza.
But on a scale of
I don't know, Merv. You seem like an expert on the Yakuza.
Yakuza to Yakuza, how Yakuza is Judgment?
So so Judgment is like the reason I was saying it feels like a spin-off and not a real Yakuza game. Is that mechanically the combat is similar, although they've introduced some tweaks that I just don't like very much. But tonally, it's very different. The side content is just as silly, but the main story is way less melodramatic. So you don't have a lot of scenes where people just like amp up and set themselves on fire and start yelling. And the attitude of the main character is a lot snarkier. It creates a little bit more distance between you and Yagami versus you and Kiryu when you play a Yakuza game. So it's tonally, it feels very different. But otherwise, yeah, it's basically a Yakuza game. You go around, do side content. You can play a weird VR board game that isn't very good. You can participate in drone races, which are a lot better. You can throw darts like you can in every Yakuza game. It's
Yakuza.
basically, it's Yakuza, but not. And it doesn't really feel like a Yakuza game, aside from sharing combat mechanics. So yeah, that's Judgment. I know probably you guys are itching to talk about Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
All y'all have been playing except for me, because I didn't back this particular Kickstarter. I call it a kink starter, which was not.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
accurate when it comes to this game.
I was gonna say yeah, it's got that. It's all that got that whole goth thing going on. So that's yeah.
If you look at Miriam and like, what is the? There's another character in there. I forget what her
Jibo?
name is. No, not Jibo. Not Jibo. It's
mean
the
Alucard?
one lady that runs the shop. It's
the sexy
it's like
nun.
guaranteed. What's her name?
Oh,
I don't remember
is
her
that-
name. Sexy nun though.
Yeah, it's guaranteed fetish wear in this game.
Sexy nun.
Yes,
That's
a
like a
sexy nun in
thing.
this game.
It's like a thing in like anime and stuff. Anyway, all I know about Miriam is that like her outfit is kind of like so that her there's a lot of cleavage in that outfit. That's all I'll say.
yeah.
Yeah, but she's really, really small, so you really can't see it.
Yeah, she's rocking that outfit though.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, she rocks a lot of outfits. Apparently, there
Yeah.
are a lot of outfits in the game. So, how have you guys been enjoying it or not enjoying it?
Second best game of the
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think it's kind of mediocre.
Okay, so there we
Okay,
go.
let's. So
Then with
now
the
the
hot
three of you can kill
So
each other.
about 7.5, I think, between us three.
Okay, so it's a pretty good game. Well, okay, let me put it this way: would you say it is more successful at what it sets out to do than Yooka-Laylee or Mighty Number 9,
Yes.
which are similar
Yes.
nostalgic Kickstarter projects?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Kinda.
No, I think it's like I think what
I mean,
it set
more
out
than
to
Mighty
do.
Number 9, obviously, fucking.
Oh,
like,
Yeah.
low
yeah.
bar.
I think like what it set out to do is to create another Symphony of the Night, and I 100% got the feeling that I'm playing a Symphony of the Night 2. Let's say, like it was
Yeah.
in spirit. I literally had the feeling that I've have while playing Symphony of the Night. Like this controls very similar to that. It has a very similar a kind of exploration feeling that I get, and it just like kind of has this. I was overwhelmed with this feeling of okay, this is very familiar to me, and it's kind of bigger than Symphony of the Night in many ways, but it also has all of these secrets that Symphony of the Night has, and yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised with it. I thought that I wouldn't like it as much, but yeah, I
Honestly,
really
kind of one of my problems is that it's almost too similar. Like, it's
yeah, it is.
literally
It is.
just another fucking like Igavania Castlevania game. Like, there's
Yeah, but it's better made than any other game that tried to do that. It's like
but it's not like it's better made than any of like the copycats, but it's also not better than like I feel a lot of the actual Castlevania games are. Like,
I think
I
it's better than Symphony of the Night.
I will
Like,
agree on that.
Yeah.
I will
think
say that it's better
than
than
Symphony
Symphony.
of the Night, but I also don't think Symphony of the Night is the best Castlevania. Like,
Oh,
No,
it's
because that's
up there.
Castlevania
It's up
3.
there. Yeah, Castlevania 3 is probably the best one, but
Like,
I think Symphony of the
I
Night is
think-
up there.
I would still prefer to play Aria of Sorrows on the Game Boy Advance again. Like,
Oh,
that-
No,
This
I
game-
liked Aria of Sorrow, but it's not this.
game
This
just
is
goes
better.
This game just goes hard on like, fuck it, we're just doing Aria of Sorrows again. No way. Like,
Mm.
just replacing
I-
souls with shards and like,
Yeah.
fuck it, in the same game again.
Yeah, it like mushes up everything, the best things about past Castlevania games, and puts it into one game, and it works.
I also think like the art direction in this game leaves a lot to be desired. Like,
It's not the best. It's like they did the best they could, but think
I
about
don't
this.
think
Like,
they did. It's a
like,
$70 game. Like, they
oh,
could do better.
I think like it's what?
It's $70. Like, it's a full price game.
No, it's not.
I mean,
It is
Australian.
in Australia.
Okay, in Australia, I
mean,
didn't
it's not
pay
a-
75.
It's not full price in like the United States.
No, it's not.
United States is a $40 US
Yeah?
game.
Yeah,
It's-
and I paid 30
What?
for it by backing it. So
Yeah, I paid 40. 40.
Yeah, they're screwing you over, man.
yeah,
No, like
$70.
Like, that's $70 is cheap for an Australian game. That's not a full price
Okay.
game.
Oh.
usually-
Oh.
That's 100 Australian dollars for a full-fledged game, right?
Oh right. Okay. Oh Jesus.
But like as a 70, there's still like more expensive than a lot of like the other indie like.
I think for
games.
like a 2.5D game, well, I don't like that term very much, but for a 2.5D game, they had to design all of these 3D models. And when you think about Symphony of the Night, they didn't design all those enemies for Symphony of the Night. They just took a bunch of enemies from past games, especially from the what was the Richter one?
From Dracula X.
Yeah,
or
but
Rondo of Blood.
Rondo of Blood. They just took a bunch of sprites from Rondo of Blood and didn't do anything to them and just pasted them in Castlevania.
It's not even that specifically. Like, you know the first time you fight Zangetsu in it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the boss stage to fight him in is just like a plain grey hallway. Like, there's nothing interesting about it. Like, there could very easily be a much more interesting room visually, but instead you're just doing like this like big boss fight against like a main character like in a like plain hallway. It's like
I think like the fight itself is very busy, and I think maybe they run to a conclusion that if there's any like chaos going on in the background or anything like that, it might be hard.
It doesn't need to be chaos, though. It could just be more like less plain.
I don't know.
Well,
I didn't notice it. I was really enjoying the fight, so there we go.
Yeah. There are bosses with far better like areas to be in, especially when it comes to like the hidden bosses that you have to get the keys for. Like they have some pretty
honestly,
good areas in there.
Also, like I feel, and I know it's a thing that was in the original Castlevania games, but I always hated it in that. But like the animation feels weak for a lot of things. Like everything feels kind of like slow and floaty, and it doesn't have a satisfying snap to it or anything.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why it felt the most Castlevania Symphony of the Night for me, because it's like very kind of weirdly sluggish, and I don't know, I really like it that way. I don't know why. I'm sorry, but I know it's not great, but I really enjoy it. For some reason, that sluggishness, it just elevated this game for me to like really good status. Like I began playing this game and it was like, it's fine, but then I kind of like fell in love with the movement. I don't know.
Sluggishness can be... It's kind of a double-edged sword, because sometimes when you have these sluggish animations, because they're trying to do something really beautiful looking with it, but then actually when you have the game in your hands, it's really annoying to play. It feels really laggy.
Not, like, I understand what you're saying, but these aren't like really high-quality animations that require that. They're, like, the animations aren't, like, great to start with, and it just still doesn't control well. But like you can put like, and the problem is comparing it to like other Metroidvania games that have come out between like Castlevania's Death ended. Like you look at like something like Ori, and like that game costs
I really like Ori.
I don't know how much it costs in America. Like that's like a $20 game, and that's better, like visually better in every single measurable way.
Yeah, but that game is like 3 hours. Yeah, also, and it has like a 3-hour game, basically, like maybe 5 hours. And this is like, I've been playing
it's about
this
8 hours.
20 hours. Okay, I've been, Bloodstained is about 20 hours though.
No, that's fair. It's like Bloodstained is probably twice as big as Ori.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more enemy variety in Bloodstained than there ever is in Ori.
Yeah, and also there's a lot more depth in Bloodstained in its like different magic effects and all of that. I think the meat of the game it is in its longevity when it comes to its mechanics.
Yeah, because Ori is mainly like a puzzle platformer for 90% of that game,
and I think
Bloodstained is mostly about like beating enemies and then scraping the map in every single corner you can get into.
And also, I think it's about like customizing your build because there's a lot to customize and a lot to perfect, and like there's a whole lot of depth in the magics, and like there's still things that are surprising people, and like it's pretty good.
Did any of you play the NES game Ritual of the Moon?
You mean Curse of the Moon?
Yeah.
Oh no, I have not.
I like the fact that that Bloodstained actually takes a boss from that game.
Oh.
Has you fight it again.
Like most of the bosses like from that game are in Bloodstained. There's a ton of them. I'm currently up to doing the double-headed dragon thing again, and that's the second one I've.
See, I never beat Curse of the Moon, so the only boss I remember outright is the train.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you fight a train?
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
How does that
The
work?
Curse of the Moon you do. It's like a big golem
Like
on a
caboose.
train kind of thing.
You find
like,
you
know
fight the
the-
caboose.
Just a caboose. That makes
Yep.
more sense.
Like,
Yeah.
you know the weird chick with the cape that's always hanging around Gables in this game?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
that's the final boss from Curse of the Moon.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But, like, I think that's another thing is that, like, I really, really liked Curse of the Moon. That game's
Okay.
amazing. I've beaten it 3 times and, like, done all the extra endings and all that kind of shit. And compared to that, I think the bosses in this are a lot weaker as well.
I didn't care much for the bosses in this game. I mean, some of them are pretty good. I like the fight with Zangetsu. That really was a good fight, barring the, as you said, like the variety of the background, which I kind of agree with. But I did enjoy that one. But yeah, some of them are kind of lackluster. There's a big, not many spoilers, but there's one like a hand boss fight that was like, okay, this is pretty inconsequential.
Oh, the fucking stained glass window thing.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say this:
that-
the one issue I have with the boss battles is that when you get closer to the end, there are literally specific abilities that will make every single boss battle pointless. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
some of the stuff is hilariously
Yeah.
broken. Hey, I got the fucking the knights on the fucking ship at the very beginning, and you get their head thing that you can swing.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you max that out, holy shit, that is broken.
No, you want to know what the worst one is? You know the giant demon cat that comes out the wall and bats
Oh,
at
yeah?
you and cast
That's-
spells?
Weirdest enemy look.
Yeah. It's the most adorable enemy in the entire game.
Yeah.
But
It's like, for
If-
your context, Merv, there's just like a giant photorealistic cat.
yeah,
Like,
with demon horns.
yeah.
So it's like I'm imagining something similar to like Tiger Bowser that looks
No,
remarkably
it
cute
looks
for
like
some
a
reason.
fucking like Nintendo's pet.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
but
It
If you-
it's giant also. It's
Yeah.
huge.
But if you fight those cats and get their shards and build them up, like I have the one in the first section gives you like a fire spell. That thing nukes
Yeah.
everything on the screen if you build it up enough, and
Yeah.
it will literally beat every single boss.
Yeah.
And it's
Um,
crazy.
The paintings, you know, the like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that shield, just like you're doing the thing that's like the cloakroom with the Medusa heads, and it's just not an issue because I've got that fucking painting thing. Like, yeah, fuck it.
I like.
I love it.
I swear, there's a painting in there that looks like Mike Ross from the
I'm
fighting game
guessing
community.
the paintings are like fucking backers, right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
one. The best painting in the entire game is a cat wearing like regal Victorian clothing, and it's the greatest picture. And it's one of the first things you get one of the first things you see when you walk into the building. I was like, okay, that's awesome. It's just somebody. It's literally a black cat with a monocle, wearing like all of these like inordinate royal robes and shit. It's great.
Yeah. It's
I
pretty
think
good.
it's that's awesome.
So overall, 7.5.
You know what? Fuck it.
7.5.
You've talked me around. I actually do kind of like the game. I think I'm being negative on it, did I?
All right,
I still
8.5.
think visually it's crap. I think it could.
Yeah.
One thing I
Yeah.
do really, really like though is, does anyone remember fucking Pandemonium on the PS1?
Yes, I
How
do.
it does that fucking thing where it's a 2.5D game, so it's not all straight lines. Like you walk around corners and shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
Like
okay.
I think that just looks super cool.
yeah, it does.
I think it's the only game. Like there was Pandemonium and the fucking 2.5D Assassin's Creed games are the only other
And
games that
also-
did that.
Clonoa and Pandemonium 2.
Oh, Pandemonium 2 was a given.
Yeah.
I never actually
That's-
played no though. I thought those were like 3D games.
No, that's 2.5D.
Yeah, because they were mostly 2D platformers.
Yep.
See, I never played them. I always thought they were like kind of like the Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, Jak and Daxter style games. But anyway.
Nope.
I'm trying to think I'm sure I've seen this effect in other games. I mean,
I bet
Nier
they're
Automata doesn't really count. It does that same thing in the 2D 2.5D sections.
But it is a 3D game, so
it's a 3D game. Lemmings Revolution does that. It does that along a cylinder in every level.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So every level is like essentially a wraparound 2D level.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other like the fucking old like Sega Mega Drive games that like fake that shit, like Mickey's Illusion and stuff.
Yeah.
Good old Mode 7, making it look like you're turning around a corner.
Yeah, the SNES. Yeah. Yeah, so overall, a pretty good game. It's pretty good.
I reckon it's a pretty good game, but I'd still reckon Curse of the Moon's better.
It's
Okay,
my number
fine.
2 game of the year. I'm going to take it as number 2.
What's your number 1 so far?
Number 1 is Resident Evil 2.
Yeah!
Okay, yeah.
Mine too.
We're two make. Yeah, what's the thing? The reason this game is interesting to me, not because I'm ever going to play it, likely, is because we finally have like a successful nostalgia Kickstarter project. I mean, I guess Pillars of Eternity was really successful.
Yeah.
I mean, there was Shadowrun.
Oh yeah, that also was successful.
Yeah,
so
that was pretty good.
I mean, it got a sequel.
It got 2 sequels.
Wait, there's 3 of those now.
Yeah, the
there's
Shadowrun Returns, and then
Also,
Shadowrun
there's
something else.
Wasteland. That's up to number 3.
Wasteland, yeah. That's,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, Wasteland.
Like,
Wasteland,
the
I've heard
RPGs
mixed things
have been
about
doing
though.
really good.
I've heard mixed things about Wasteland too. Like that was not as warmly received as Bloodstained for whatever reason. So this is it's nice to get that there's a demand for these games from yesteryear and they can be made well.
Though I do think the best thing we got out of these Kickstarters is actually the failure of Mighty Number 9 got us Mega Man 11, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's strange that, I didn't believe Mega Man 11 is going to be any good, but yeah.
That's like my favorite Mega Man game now.
It looks fantastic.
I love how that game was just made to basically to troll Inafune.
Pretty much. Like
That's the only reason that game exists.
Look, I will say this right now, as far as crowdfunded games are concerned, I'm currently, what is it, 3? No, I'm 2 for 3 so far. So unlike most people who are like, I've only gotten one really good crowdfunded game, I am currently in the best position right now, and I'm still waiting on the 3rd game to come out, and I still think that one's going to be good because I crowdfunded Indivisible.
Oh, fuck
okay.
yeah!
So
I am so committed to that game being good because I put like $500 into that.
oh shit!
Oh,
I only
I
got
wanted
the
that
game, dude.
shit. What
That's a lot of
the
money.
fuck?
I put $300 into Skullgirls too.
Oh,
a lot of
boy.
money.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. Skullgirls is a banging ass game.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
wanted Beowulf and we got him and he's the fucking bad.
I've funded 5 crowdfunding projects. 2 so far have come out. I've funded 4. I didn't fund Ukulele. I don't know why I said that. Only 1 so far has come out, and that's A Hat in Time, which turned out well. I don't know why I thought I funded Ukulele. I didn't. I bought it later, and it sucked.
Wait, wouldn't the biggest like success of these like retro nostalgia ones would be Shovel Knight? I mean, it's not technically nostalgia,
Yeah.
but it was heavily based on nostalgia, and that's fucking still killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still
It's
making
got-
3 DLC.
Hey, you even get Shovel Knight in Bloodstained. You can actually.
Oh, yeah.
There's a name
I mean, you also have Shovel Knight and Ukulele.
I think
Yeah.
legally you have to have Shovel Knight
Yeah.
if you're making an indie game at this point.
Yeah, he's in Indivisible.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to show up in Judgment somewhere.
Judgment, this is an indie game.
He just like a knight just fucking walks into his detective office and he's like, "I have a case for you, Yagami."
Take this shovel.
Oh wait, in the English dub they do the honorifics and everything. It's like the Yakuza 1 dub.
Oh, do they? Oh,
Yeah, so they're like Yagami-san or Yagami-shi or
Why do they
like,
even
yeah.
bother putting a dub in those games now?
this is the first one that's had a dub in years.
Yeah, why did they
I'm
even
playing
bother?
with the dub. The dub is pretty well. The dub is very well voice acted. But okay, here's the thing about the dub. It's half-assed from one perspective, which is they didn't translate any of the ambient dialogue, so you'll just be walking around, everybody speaking Japanese, and then sometimes some of the incidental dialogue when you have really small conversations has not been translated as well. So
That's weird.
It's so weird. So you walk around, people will be speaking Japanese, and then you'll have a conversation with like some dude on the street, and he'll be speaking Japanese, and then you'll enter a cutscene, and everybody's speaking English. And sometimes there are conversations where that Yagami has people because they've dubbed all of Yagami's lines, but not some of the random street dudes. So Yagami will say something in English, and then the other street dude will say something back in Japanese.
Also, it's a Tekken cutscene.
Yes, Kamurocho exists in the Tekken universe. Kiryu for Tekken 7 confirmed.
And making it even more confusing, one of the side quests is teaching someone else English.
Yeah.
Wait,
Good stuff.
hold on. Is this all of a sudden that game that Namco made about teaching people English?
Yeah, the fucking what's it called? The VR one.
I forget what it's called.
Summer Lesson.
Summer Lesson, yeah.
Yeah, Summer Lesson. So it's completely confirmed that Yakuza exists in the Tekken universe.
Because that was Harada, wasn't it?
Was it?
I'm
Well,
pretty
are
sure
you talking about
this
Summer
Tekken
Lesson?
dude made that game.
Yeah, that was Harada that made Summer Lesson.
Oh man! Fucking hurry up with Kiryu and Tekken. Jesus Christ.
Fucking Negan.
Yeah, who the
Bullshit.
fuck wanted him?
Walking Dead dead.
Ooh.
Jesus. That's
Okay.
such a dumb pull for that game. Sorry, we're apparently on the fuck Negan and Tekken podcast.
Yeah. Welcome to the
Jesus.
Tekken podcast.
And how elaborate was that fucking trailer for nothing?
Hey,
That was so much cool putting into a character that people cared about, not fucking Negan.
now I will say a lot of people say that Negan is actually a pretty good character based on his mechanics in the game, but fuck that.
But those mechanics on a
You just want the characters that look cool, right?
Huh?
Like, I mean, you could have like a mechanically cool gray box, and it would still suck ass, right? Because
Yeah.
you play as a gray box.
Well, the thing is, Negan is if you play Tekken to actually play Tekken, which most people don't do because they play Tekken because they think there should be a story in there, and I'm not even going to get in that argument. But if
All
you
those
play Tekken to
volcanoes
play-
have
Don't all fighting games have stories now, and they're super melodramatic, and they involve time travel and shit?
Look, to me, story modes in fighting games is the dumbest thing ever to exist. It is literally the battle royale of fighting games, and it hurts me every single time it happens. But we're not going to have that conversation right now.
No, Mortal
No, I
Kombat
hate
has some pretty.
I absolutely hate it.
What?
But
No,
we're not
I
gonna have
really
that
like
conversation right
it.
now.
I
And
mean,
you can't just drop a bomb like that. That's like saying I don't think cats should exist, and then walking out of a room. You can't do that, man.
Both off.
No, I reckon I love storylines in games, except not when they're Mortal Kombat level, when they're trash. Like, the Tekken storyline is the funniest fucking thing in the world.
I love
And
how many volcanoes exist and how many people are
Like,
thrown in the volcano.
Was it Tekken 7 that has a storyline told, like, it's like cuts from like just like still panels to like
Yeah.
cutscenes, and it's just all over the place, and it's garbage.
I
Garbage fire.
It has to be
just
You start just like still panels.
Yeah.
Is this like
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge now? Like, what's going on?
It has the worst narration of any game to ever exist.
So bad. It's
That's true. All of that is true, but I just want a quick time cutscene where I can press X and Heihachi throws someone in the volcano. That's
Well,
all I want from
Isn't that in
a
Tekken 7?
Tekken.
I'm pretty
Press
sure.
X
that
to
is
play
in Tekken
respects
7.
to the volcano.
Oh,
Is
there
that
we
it?
go. I'm buying Tekken 7. That is
actually
Tekken 7. You've made a sale.
Because
It is-
isn't there
it's
the
the-
fight in Tekken 7 where you play as like little fucking Kazuya
Yes,
fighting,
it is.
and you just get stomped?
Yep. And then you play as Heihachi and you throw Kazuya into the volcano.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Can you
It is-
imagine being like 10-year-old Kazuya and like Hachi's like, come on, we're going to the volcano. Like, what? Why? Get in the helicopter.
No
go to the volcano.
reason.
Like,
No reason. We're going to have a picnic there.
No, he knew what was going on because in the story the deal was because Kazuya thinks Heihachi killed his mom, So he literally challenges Heihachi at age 11 or 10 or some shit to a fight near a volcano, because that's where all of the Mishimas do death matches.
Yeah.
The best thing about the Tekken
Hey,
storyline, though,
come on,
is the reveal
Ninjaneer.
that, like, fucking Heihachi's wife was like, "Hey, Akuma, can you kill Heihachi for me?"
Yeah.
And Akuma's just like, "Yeah, fucking Street
Okay.
Fighter exists in this world
So-
now. Let's go, son."
So, Ninjaneer,
Yeah.
you have been listening to the past 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
how can you not love storytelling in fighting games?
Look,
This is the best shit.
Here's the thing. I like story in fighting games. I hate story mode. There's a distinct difference. So you can
But-
tell that story in other ways. You can tell
But
that story
how?
without having me without ruining the mechanics of the game, with me having to fight people for no reason, because you have to have everybody get their shit in. You can do something else instead of me having to play as a character that I don't
It
like
is.
Oh,
and then have to
that's
fight a boss.
fucking
Okay.
final
Stuck in that
boss
spot
as this
and
character
then-
you've played as for 10 minutes and
Yeah.
fucking get good now, son.
Yeah, like I
That
had
shit
that.
in Mortal Kombat is the worst. Like, fucking beat Shao Kahn with Raiden. I've never played as Raiden.
Yeah.
Fucking do it.
Yeah, like I had the what was it? It was Claudio versus whoever that street fighting guy from Spain is in Tekken 7. And I'm like, I don't play this guy. What? And I don't even know who Claudio is because he's a brand new character. But you're gonna make me fight this character after the
Well,
difficulty
Claudio's
has
like
gone
the Final
up.
Fantasy looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
I mean,
like
I will agree
Do they
that.
have like a
Hmm.
like an offline mode where you can train against the AI and train up there and then go?
you
back
can,
into
yeah,
story
but
mode?
Don't
that-
do that for like 30 different characters.
Yeah, but that destroys the flow of the story that I'm supposed to be playing. Like the fact that I have to sit here, press pause, and look at a long ass move list to try to
Fucking
figure
like
out what to do.
230 moves a character in Tekken.
Yeah, like I have to sit here and go to a brand new character I've never played, learn a move list, so I need to stop the flow of the story, to pause the game, read through a move list. Hopefully, I pick the right moves to decide to do on this person that's already more difficult than me now, and then try to fight him and then lose over and over again because I have no fucking clue what I'm doing because I'm forced to use a character that I don't use.
I
You
don't
know,
know,
they could fix this
Ninjaneer.
really easily. You know how? They should narrate a bedtime story to you while you're looking through the move list.
You know, Ninjaneer, this all sounds like you just gotta get good. I don't
I-
know.
Look, I'm
Actually,
good enough.
does make
Good
a good
goods.
segue into something I've been wondering, Ninja.
Okay.
How is the storyline in Samurai Shodown? 'Cause that's got a
You-
storyline, mate. doesn't
Okay, you want to know what story mode is? How story mode is for Samurai Shodown?
it? Yeah?
It's arcade mode. Done.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
sweet.
lame.
There is no story, like the bullshit story mode you get with everybody else's games, where they want to throw in like 9 billion extra cutscenes and make people fight each other for no reason when it doesn't make sense. Doesn't
It's
exist in this
contrived.
game because it's arcade mode.
But that's
The
less to
trailer
do.
literally said story mode. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, it's got a story mode. But like,
No.
that's
And that's
But-
perfectly fine.
No, it's
Yes,
not.
it
It's
is.
less to do. It's less to do for single player. I like
Look-
to explore some characters.
Look. Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
It might, you think it's less to do,
Yeah.
but think about how the fact that these guys have to program like 20 to 50 characters and make them all balance and work. So
Yeah.
now you want them to do double work to create a shitty story because it's always going to be shitty, and create all these extra cutscenes and all of these extra animations for a bunch of shit that doesn't make any sense, when they could just do an arcade mode and then make alternative modes that use the actual mechanics of the game so that you
I
can
mean,
have
so
fun
y-
with it.
Okay,
I
so
prefer
you're
that.
saying that like, hey, if Halo exists, they don't have to make a big story mode. Nobody wants that. The multiplayer is where it's at, so they can make
Well,
better multiplayer.
Look,
Why do they waste their time on the single player?
No, here's
Speaking of wasting time, why are they bringing Samurai Showdown to Stadia?
I don't even know why they're doing that. That
I
is a
don't know.
complete waste of time. But I can
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
answer that question. I can answer your question, Science.
Oh,
Here's
okay.
the difference, okay?
Yep.
When you make a story mode for Halo, you don't
Yep.
fuck up the rest of the game. Because of the fact
Uh,
that every single time that I've run it, unless it's Netherrealm, where they have fucking Warner Brothers to back them up and give them funding, unlike every other game publisher or studio who doesn't have $1 billion multimedia corporation backing them up, they always ruin something else within the game. Either it goes downhill mechanics wise, or it goes downhill on the launch with what.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm definitely not saying that Samurai Shodown should have a story mode, because that's way over. Like, they should make a good fighting game, and that's where they should stop.
The thing is, usually every time someone else makes a fighting game with a story mode, it affects the fighting game, and that's the problem.
When you can't afford it, then don't make it. I'm 100% with
you. The thing is, everybody's doing it, and it's a problem. Now, here's my thing. As an alternative, I will say, look at Super Smash Brothers. That is not a story mode. They took what the mechanics were that they had, they added some extra things to it, so that when you play a game, hey, here's some crazy thing that happens when you play this fight. But there's 3 cutscenes in all of adventure mode.
I mean, Brawl had Subspace Emissary, which was effectively.
Brawl had a big story mode.
But how many cutscenes were in it?
A lot. There's half an hour of cutscenes or something in that game.
Okay, still.
But so to your point though, the first one, Melee and SSB4 didn't have.
No, they just had the classic mode. But also
Melee had the little kind of weird level things you play. Then Brawl had the cutscene mode. Then no one played for. Then this one has
Ultimate has something like a story mode.
Well, here's the thing, though.
It's got a dumb thing.
Ultimate doesn't have the same thing as most fighting games do, where it's here's 20 minutes of cutscenes that don't matter, and then here fight this random person. It's literally everything that's based on that game is based on the mechanics that were already built in the game. They don't have to make anything really brand new, except for the little sprite things that they draw up, which don't take as much. They're just like a JPEG. But as far as everything that's done, all they do is take the existing models, the existing stages, and make adjustments to those existing models and stages, and then make those fun little things where they throw little tweaks in there. Hey, you're gonna lose health when you in this time period, or hey, you gotta fight this giant character or whatever. They make those tweaks based off of the mechanics already built in the game, instead of spending a whole bunch of extra time and money.
Where do you stand on the Arc story, the old Arc story ones, which is visual novels?
I mean, I don't know too much about the Arc System Works games to even make a judgment on that. But I just hate. I can't stand the mechanics for it.
But couldn't you say that about all multiplayer-focused games, that they should never have anything except for refinement of multiplayer mechanics so that they can be better?
What Ninja's saying is more that, there's a lot of games now that are trying story modes, and it's affecting the actual core multiplayer. Like, Street Fighter V came out. It has a story mode, but that game launched like trash, and it's just not great.
But it didn't launch with the story mode.
Well, the thing it didn't launch with the other features because they were working on the story mode.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's true. They had nothing.
No, that is actually what happened. That is what happened. Because
they screwed up. But you can't make a good.
Everyone is screwing up. That's the thing. Like, NetherRealm is the only one that's managing to actually walk that line. And if no one else can do it well, then fucking just stop.
But
how's Arc System Works doing though? Do they use story modes?
They do. They did for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and the only reason why that's one of the better ones, which it really isn't, because it's a terrible story. It's one of the worst stories in the entire group. But the only reason why, to me, mechanically, it's better than every other story mode and every other fighting game is I get to pick what characters I actually use when I want to use them.
Fair enough.
Every other story mode just randomly gives you whatever they want you to use because that person's
NetherRealm, and NetherRealm started that with fucking MK versus DC, where you have to just get thrown in a random character and do this ultra hard boss battle as a character you've never played as. It's a fucking pain in the ass.
Science, to your example about Halo, here's the thing: Halo doesn't have to make 30 different Master Chiefs that all play differently. You have one Master Chief that plays exactly the same. and uses the exact same weapons in every single
But
stage.
all I'm saying is that you're criticizing the mode itself, and what I'm saying, you're
criticizing it within fighting games, not within.
No,
every
you're
other genre.
yeah, but you're criticizing the mode itself, and what you should be criticizing is, hey, if you can't do it well, don't do it. But if you can do it well, why not?
I don't think it works.
It feels like the critique is really of the allocation of resources here, right?
That's most of my critique. I don't even think NetherRealm does it that well either.
I liked it. I liked the what was the last no, not the Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat had okay story, but the Injustice 2 had a pretty good one.
I really actually disliked the Injustice one.
I liked it.
My problem with Injustice is, like, I reckon the idea of a DC Universe fighting game and a big story mode in that is super cool. I think the fact that they're doing it in weird alternate universe where Superman is evil and shit is just like, fuck that. Like,
that edgelord bullshit.
Yeah,
edgelord bullshit.
I want to play a
it's more interesting. Superman is really boring. So making him anything else than Superman is I'm on board with that, because Superman it's the most boring character in the world.
Look, all I'm gonna say is NetherRealm, yes, they do it better than everyone else, but I still think it's terrible. So they're the shiniest turd on shit mountain right now, as far as how this whole thing works.
I don't
So
agree.
as far as I'm concerned, the whole thing is shit, because even by NetherRealm's high standards, it's still terrible. They brought back the fucking Kamidogu, the worst ever.
Hey, don't knock the Kamidogu. The Kamidogu ever.
This podcast feels like I'm talking to 3 copies of Haruo from High Score Girl.
I have no idea what you just said. Have no idea.
Look, fucking
You have lost
best character
me.
Mortal Kombat's ever had, and the Kamidogu is great.
What the heck is a Kamidoku?
It's
Naga, goddammit.
It's a fucking MacGuffin that was in like one of the trash Mortal Kombats from back in the 2000s that nobody liked.
I'm
I
like Akira Ono right now.
I always get Deadly Alliance and Deception mixed up.
Yeah, because they're almost the exact same game.
One has a great story mode.
None of them do. That's a lie. But
That's
Oh,
a fucking
boy.
lie.
yeah, that's a lie and a half. But
Oh god, the story mode in that game sucked.
but I think that story modes are a bane of my existence when it comes to fighting games. That's just it. I can't stand it.
Well, let's just agree to disagree then.
So you want to talk about Samurai Showdown?
Yeah, good.
Were
How
we
is
just
it?
talking about Samurai Showdown?
No,
talking about
no,
anything but
we
Samurai
have not.
Showdown.
Oh god.
Because I'm
Every-
waiting for
We have talked about.
Why do you get 3
every
fighting game fans on the same podcast?
We have talked about every fighting game in existence
Yeah, but
except for
Samurai
Samurai Showdown.
So, I will say this. As bare bones as Samurai Showdown is, I will echo Maximilian Dude's review for Samurai Showdown in that it is a personal score of 8, but a critical score of 6. Because as far as mechanically how that game plays, it's great. You don't have to worry about fucking combos. There's like next
dead.
There's next to no combos.
fucking
If
love
you hit a
Samurai
guy with like 1 hit, you've taken like half their life depending on what you've done. I
saw a
just
fucking Twitter setup of that chick with a shield.
Oh no. That's not even the worst one. Darlie Dagger, a character who has a
I love her design, and I love her fucking weaponless just walk up punch move.
she
That's
carries
the
around
rad as shit.
she carries around a giant machete that both transforms into a hammer and a giant drill, which she does a Galactica Phantom with in her super move. But I was just watching a Twitch stream for Lord Jimmy Bones, where he was doing back throw setups, and he found out that if you do a back throw setup with Darlie Dagger, you can literally remove about 50% of somebody's life with a heavy hit.
There is some filthy shit in that game.
But
I'm waiting for it to come onto PC before I get it, but fuck
Right.
on. Sorry.
I think we just went into negative zone when it comes to our listeners because
Yeah.
they most people don't
Because they don't
understand
play
our
fighting
word. Yeah,
but the
That's all right. It's better than whale dicks, so it's an improvement.
it's a slight improvement. No,
Yeah.
I love fighting games. I love fighting games.
but the game's good as far as mechanically. The online is pretty trash. Like,
Yeah, but it
Aw, that sucks.
the
no,
netcode
but it
is
comes
pretty
with the territory. It
Yeah.
comes with the territory of a small game.
doesn't
It's
have
very
to.
hard to do.
Like,
net-
It's
it's
very-
DGPO is free. Like, fucking.
good. The netcode
But
is pretty good. I will say
Yeah.
that the netcode's not bad. It's just the way they set up, like the way they set up for casual matches is terrible. Because
Yeah.
what happens is they put you in basically a queue up at the top, but the queue doesn't mean shit. So when you get in, like say if somebody's got a lobby open, you can get 8 people in there. If you're in there, you'll have like there's a screen there's a box at the top that shows the queue. There's a box down below that shows who's in the match. It's kind of like a sumo ring that's sitting there, and then on the left hand side you got all the information shit like what your ID is and what your stats are and all that shit. So you get into a lobby in a casual match, and then once you get there, if you can't even do spectator mode unless you pick a spectator spot before the match starts quickly enough, because there's literally only a couple seconds before somebody goes in, grabs the next spot to play, and then you have to be in a spectator spot and select a spectator spot to view. Otherwise, you're sitting there looking at the dumbass screen, the lobby screen.
What?
And then on top of that, in order for you to get the next spot, you have to go and grab the spot and select it to be able to fight in the next match. It doesn't auto put you in it or not.
Oh,
So-
that sounds really bad.
It is terrible as far as the casual part is. I think the ranked is a lot better because it just automatically selects a new opponent for you, like
Yeah.
in
Yeah, so you
like in
can't
Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
So it just automatically selects whoever your next opponent is, and then it boots you back out to the
To the queue, and then you
yeah.
get.
Well, it puts you back to the lobby to the and you just wait for the next opponent. I think you can actually set the like training mode or practice mode to be able to come up with your next opponent,
yeah,
like
sweet,
in Street
sweet,
Fighter 5. But the casual ranked mode is terrible. But
How is it like playing in lobbies with mates and shit though? Is that fine?
as far as like the local shit, it's great. I will actually go so far as to say this with a caveat. If you are a person that's interested in fighting games, but you're not sure where to start, this is probably one of the most accessible fighting games out there because you don't have to know more than the basics. The only problem with this game, and that's the caveat, is that it still has SNK inputs. And if anybody knows what that is, I will actually clarify this for Merve's sake, and those of you who do not play fighting games that often.
This is assuming I'm still listening.
Yes, but there is,
basically.
even though they simplified it in Samurai Shodown, SNK has a tendency to do a specific input that everybody dubs the pretzel, and a lot of the SNK type attacks tend to have these type of complicated inputs on the D-pad or the stick or whatever. It's not as bad as it has been, but there are some moves that are double half circles and shit like that.
Oh Jesus!
And you still have to do all the super specials are exactly the same, but they're all forward, back, and then forward half circle.
Oh, I hate.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, forward, back, half circle. So,
I don't even know what a half circle is.
like
It's
half
like
of
a half circle.
thing.
Like you go back, down, forward on your input to do like
Yeah.
half a circle on the bottom of your D-pad.
Oh, okay. So up, left, back. Okay.
So yeah, so all of that, like that's the only thing I would say beginners would have a problem
When you
with.
say you only need to know the basics,
Yeah.
are the basics as complicated as like Samurai Shodown 5 were though? Because that had like so many fucking mechanics in.
I mean, here's the thing. Samurai Showdown has some extra mechanics in it. Like there's like the parry mechanic.
Like the deflect attack and all
Yeah,
that
the deflect attack. But you also have a block parry. So you can just, if you know how to do just basic footsies, basic spacing and all that stuff, you can win a game of Samurai Showdown just by using the basic shit.
Yeah.
If you want to go for anything more complicated, it's there. Like even doing things like the block parry, that's nothing more than getting the timing down based on whatever your opponent does. Being able to do the weapon flip, being able to like knock weapons out of people's hands, that just takes time. And then as far as the weapon flipping super combo, that's easier to do than the actual super combo is, because it's actually a fireball motion and then 2 buttons.
Okay,
So
cool.
you still have access to most of the abilities in the game. It's just that every now and then you're going to wind up with a character that's got some ridiculous ass inputs that fuck
Right.
everything up. But it's not anywhere near as complicated as most of the other shit.
I still think that the best entry to fighting games is the Blast Blue Cross series with Ruby characters in it. I forgot the name.
I wouldn't
of
even
it.
say that. I would say Fantasy Strike is even better than that as far as
Okay.
an entry-level fighting.
Clearly the
Fuck you
best
all.
intro to fight.
Rising
Clearly the
Thunder
best
is,
intro to
even though
fighting
it's
games.
Dead.
What?
Rising Thunder, except it's
Yep.
dead.
Oh yeah,
That was
yeah.
amazing intro.
Guys,
point.
clearly the best intro to fighting games is Dive Kick.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
That-
Dive Kick teach you
Yeah.
footsies.
Yeah, Dive
Yeah,
Kick actually
yeah.
gives you one of the skills that you would need.
Yes.
But
like
Fantasy Strike is like every
Fantasy
basic
Strike is like
mechanic.
a learning fighting games game, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of Dive Kick, did you see Bailey at fucking CEO did the...
He was in
practice?
AEW.
Yeah, he practiced to do his fucking finisher from Dive Kick in the match.
Okay, so you guys are going to need to, for our listeners, expand those initialisms.
Okay,
Okay.
Bailey is a fighting game tournament organizer who's also a huge wrestling fan. He runs the CEO fighting game tournament, which is based on wrestling. They have wrestling intros, and it all takes place in a wrestling ring. He got an AEW wrestling match, AEW All Elite Wrestling, a new promotion. They had a show at his fighting game tournament where he competed as a wrestler in a hardcore match with Michael Nakazawa, whose gimmick is he covers himself in oil so you can't grab him.
Yeah.
All through the match, they were like grabbing arcade sticks and like choking each other with GameCube controllers. I don't know if you guys watch wrestling, but there's a thing called a thumbtack spot where they like empty a bag of thumbtacks onto the ground. They did that except with arcade stick buttons, and they were like throwing each other onto the buttons.
Merv, I'm sure you regret asking all of that.
Yes.
You know, I'm glad to have that clarity now.
Put it in the
Okay.
info dump.
Yeah.
I think the match is free on YouTube if you just want to listen to it.
So send me the link for it. I'll dump it in the link dump, and then
I love how sad Merv sounded right there.
yeah, I don't have control of this anymore. So you know, it is what it is. So that was a nice discussion of fighting games. I think there's one more game that we definitely should discuss in the time we have left, and that is The Outer Wilds, which, Ben, you've been playing. Please explain to us what The Outer Wilds is, because I'm not entirely sure. I've just heard it exists and is good.
What is that?
Like a puzzle game, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's all we need to know.
no,
Show's over, folks.
Basically, you are like this weird alien dude, and you're like on this planet, I guess.
Yep,
and
all
solve
checks out
puzzles.
everything. Yep.
But okay, basically what it is like, kind of like you're in a solar system. You have a spaceship. You can fly around to like the different planets and everything. But unlike No Man's Sky or whatever, they're all like very crafted. They're individually crafted, and you go like between the planets and solve puzzles. Yeah. And like,
Cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
not really that much to say about it. It's good. Like it's
Yeah.
really fun and lots of
Well,
mechanics and-
It's it's very polished from what I understand. It's like very it's well crafted. So that's why everyone is like, oh, it's amazing. But I'm very skeptical sometimes of games that people are like placing on a very high pedestal. But I'm going to buy this game and have a look at it.
So on Xbox Games Pass, if you have that, that's how I played it.
Nope, do not.
So, Science, is that why CD Projekt does so well? Is because their games are so Polish?
Oh boy, I have stated my dislike of CD Projekt, so I am not going to go into this. But that was an okay joke. Let's that was an
is
okay
your
joke.
story mode.
Oh god, I don't like Witcher so much. I just don't like that game so bad. Oh
Honestly,
boy.
out of like all the games I've played, Outer Wilds is probably the one I have the least to say about. So
Okay. I can just complain about The Witcher for like the remaining time.
Because you've been playing My Friend Pedro as well, right, Ninja?
Yes, I have.
Have you beaten that game yet?
I have not, but that game is fucking nuts.
That game is awesome until it sucks.
Oh,
I hate to break it to you.
Damn.
You get
Because it's awesome so far.
It's so cool at the beginning. But
So what starts sucking about it?
Yeah.
okay, so for anyone that hasn't seen My Friend Pedro, it's like this crazy like slow-mo ballet gun shooty. Like you can like
Man.
shoot in multiple directions and spin and like ride skateboards and like kick knives at people.
Sounds kind
I
of
saw
like
some gameplay where you could decapitate someone and then kick the decapitated head at another enemy
Okay.
to kill that enemy.
Yep.
holy
Yeah.
crap. That sounds like super hot a little bit.
It's got, I would say it's got elements of Katana Zero, Hotline Miami, and what was the third game I was thinking of? Super Hot would sound like a pretty good one.
Max Payne, like
Yeah, a little bit of Max Payne's in there. It's
Mhm.
like pretty much every goofy ass violent video game is
Yeah.
crammed into this game. And then they were like, yeah, but let's make it play like Xiao Xiao, that old GIF thing that came out in like the
Oh,
1990s.
that's a great an old flash animation.
Yeah.
So what sucks about it? Because
Yeah,
that
what
sounds
sucks
great.
Yeah, it is until they start going, okay, we need to make the game hard, and then doing all the fun stuff just gets you instantly killed. So you have to like basically start playing it like a pop and stop shooter. That's not fun.
It's
Like,
often the bane of these little games that do
Yeah.
one thing well, that they start to like try to make it challenging so that it doesn't get boring, and then they kill all the fun.
Yeah, like, you
It's
get
very
up-
often.
Like you get an
Yeah.
assault rifle and you're fighting these dudes that have a lot more health, and they have assault rifles, and if you like jump out and do your cool shit, then it's like and you're dead.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I
well,
I
I'm
can
just gonna
agree to
hide
that.
behind this fucking wall and
Yeah.
shoot. Which is like the end. Like that game was so good at the beginning, and then just such a letdown at the end.
The worst case of that is when I was playing The Force Unleashed, and I was like, yeah, I'm fucking everyone up, and then people appeared that were like, oh, you want to use the Force on me? No, I'm just Force resistant. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how are you making this game that people are Force resistant?
I don't doubt that the developers for My Friend Pedro probably tweaked the difficulty for speedrunners, because I guarantee you there's probably somebody doing a speedrun right now where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
doing all of the crazy ass ballet shit and getting like A-class rankings on every single stage.
Yeah.
Sort of
But-
S-class rankings.
I don't think My Friend Pedro goes past A.
Yeah, I think A is.
Oh yeah, 'cause it's not
most
Japanese.
Insane shit I saw. Like the craziest shit is I imagine it'll be the same. Have you watched Katana Zero speedruns?
I haven't watched those.
Like, because for those who haven't played Katana Zero, the main mechanic is you can like slow down time and like deflect shots and shit and everything. And so Katana Zero speedruns are basically we just don't use the slow-mo and just fucking react to people shooting at you and deflect shots and shit. And it's the most wild shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure My Friend Pedro is some similar shit like that, where you see a guy just like jumping all over the place and doing crazy flips and shit and killing people in one hit for some reason.
Yeah.
I would doubt that.
I just looked it up, and I was right. You can get an S rank.
Oh, there is
in
an
My
S
Friend
rank.
Pedro. My Friend Pedro is secretly Japanese. Okay.
I know it has to be made by a UK publisher because goddamn if not all that dialogue is extra English.
All right.
Like it is.
Some of the dialogue and the gamer joke kind of shit, and it did kind of start to get kind of lame.
Yeah.
I said kind of way too many times in that sentence. Fuck it, I'm still sleepy.
But I dig it so far. I guess Ben hates the game. I don't know, but I like.
It's the worst game I've ever played.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I bought
It's
it.
either an
launch
A
day.
or it's an E.
Yeah.
It can't be anywhere in between.
Or it can be an S.
Well, yeah.
So I looked it up, and Dead Toast Entertainment, which made My Friend Pedro, is based in Malmo, Sweden.
They're Swedish.
Ooh. Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish.
Well,
I
I
do
guess their
know-
localization team was very much English then.
Well, makes sense. They're European, right?
Yeah.
It did start out as a Flash game, which I think is crazy.
That makes
You guys
a lot of
haven't
sense.
Seen that?
That makes
Nah.
sense.
But it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the cash
Malmo.
effect. Like I think the best way to put it, which was the same thing that that was said about Carrion, is that this is one of those games where you see gifs for it on Twitter and you go, yeah, I'll go ahead and buy that. Because that's basically how you sell it.
90% of the advertising campaign for that game was just GIFs on Twitter.
Yeah.
It even fucking automatically saves like a little mini GIF every time you finish
Yep.
a level of the coolest thing you did.
That's nice.
Yeah, it does.
It's like a mini play of the game feature. I like that.
And it even has a link for Twitter so that you can go ahead and put it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
I like that. Social media integration.
Yeah.
So any other recent games that came out recently you want to mention?
Mecha,
Ton
real quick.
Zero is one I would say is probably my game of the year so far. That game's fucking amazing.
Which one?
Katana Zero?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
that like?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that game, the best way to describe it, like, gameplay-wise, is it's like a side-scroller Hotline Miami. Like,
Mhm.
you die in one hit, you kill everyone in one hit, you just go through the levels until you can get a perfect run kind of thing. And then it's got this storyline which just fucking goes places. Like,
Nice.
it is some fucking, like, almost Yoko Taro level shit. Like,
Okay, cool.
it's also got, like, some of the best, like, pixel art sprite work I've ever seen in a game.
Nice. Oh, I'll check it out. Sounds nice.
Good to hear.
And
I
originally banned in Australia, so I'm glad that got
Yeah.
I would actually bring up Hardcore Mecha, which is a game I didn't know existed until yesterday.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
never heard
So-
it until you mentioned it before.
So the best way to describe this game is kind of in the setup of the first 5 minutes of the game. So you start the game and it's like a little super robot battle. So it's like a Saturday morning Japanese cartoon where it's like, here's a giant kaiju, get in the giant robot and beat it. And it even has like all the different things where they use this as a tutorial where it shows you how to use the weapons to shoot down like flying enemies and shit, and how to fight the kaiju with melee and
Oh shit!
guns
I
and
remember
shit.
this game.
And it even has at the end you use a super move where the character in the robot creates a giant sword, slices the kaiju in half, and then does a cool pose while it explodes in the background. And then it takes a turn, and this is the first 5 minutes of the game, where all of a sudden there's a blood splatter on a screen, and you realize, oh wait, that was a TV show, and people are dying now. And you actually work as part of like you're like a mercenary that works for like the government to be able to do all these specific missions, because you have to stop like this terrorist organization that's trying to take over and shit.
What?
And, like, yeah, and the thing is, it's not like it goes from like Escaflowne to Evangelion for no reason.
I like both of those things.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm watching a trailer and I just saw a dude jump out of a robot and start shooting a giant
Yep.
robot with his little machine gun.
That there is actually a boss battle where you go to the stage, like you go to the setting where you're supposed to fight the boss. You see his robot sitting there, and you investigate. It's like, there's a robot sitting here, but nobody's in it. And you keep walking, and then your rival shows up with a rocket launcher, shoots your robot, flips, puts a C4 bomb on your cockpit, blows it up, and then gets in his mech, and then fights you as a hand-to-hand combat. He doesn't even really use any guns until he gets his health down by half. Okay. So he fights with a knife the entire time. And like,
sounds
this
interesting.
is the shit that happens. Like, one of the stages I got to is a stealth stage where you're outside of the robot, and you got to do things like avoid people. Like, every time you go into stages, they give you a special objective, where it's like, okay, you need to blow all these canisters up because we don't want the terrorists to get what's in it, or you need to find these things, or you need to do this. And in this stage, there's two special objectives. The first one was, hey, these people are just doing their jobs, so don't kill them. So you have to stealth in the entire area without killing a single person. Except the problem is, if they spot you, now the only way to get to the next spot, the next screen, is to kill everybody on screen. So you have to do perfect stealth. And then the second one was you get to the next part of that same stage, and you run into a guy that says, "Hey, you do not want to be spotted by these cameras because they will kill you instantly." So it's like, hey, avoid all the cameras, don't be spotted. And then you get like pretty good rewards because they give you like a money that you can spend for upgrades on your Mac and shit. And like the story is actually pretty good. Like right now I'm in the whole first part of the mission is you're supposed to rescue like this really, really good mech pilot named A. She doesn't even have a name. But you're like on this, you're on this like massive rescue mission and shit. You had to fight basically a boss that looks like Devastator from Transformers. It's like a giant construction bot. The game's crazy, but it's like if you've ever played like Super Robot Wars, it's that kind of style as far as how it looks. And it's like basically 2D. You fight in the mech, you get like melee weapons, you get like guns and shit. It's good.
I'm looking at screenshots and I'm seeing what appears to be 4-player split-screen multiplayer.
Yes, there's like a battle mode in it where it's 4-player split screen.
Is it like 3D or 2D? What kind of a game is it?
Side scroller 2D.
Yeah, it's like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I saw it. Yeah. Okay. I think I know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's a good game. I saw it. Immediately went to Steam after I saw it because I watched a video on it, and then it was like on sale for 16 something. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy that now.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good.
Came out just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's not that old.
Rocket Punch Games on June 26th.
I will say that the localization for the subtitles is definitely not good. But still,
it feels like that's fitting for this kind of game, though.
It definitely would be the type of game that would have it. But I think the voice acting on it is pretty good. I don't know if it has an English voice acting track, but the Japanese one is actually really good. I wouldn't trust the subtitles because the subtitles are wrong, like not most of the time, but about 35% of the time. So just enough to notice.
Nice.
As far as the game is going, it's pretty good. It gets really hard too, especially when you run into a whole bunch of guys to kill.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds like a banger of a game.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty. So I think that's pretty much all we wanted to cover today, unless you guys wanted to talk a bit more about, I don't know, whales again.
Are we talking about whales?
This next part This next part should not be heard by human ears anywhere. I urge you, listener, please, stop now. Go no further. Let it tease your imagination rather than plague your nightmares. And listen no more.
I'm good. I'm good.
You know, I
You're talking about
actually
what,
have
sir?
a whale dick thing to say, but I won't now.
You know what? Okay, now you
You-
said it, you
you
have
go-
to say the whale dick thing.
Color, go ahead.
Echo
Color,
the
go ahead.
Dolphin Watch 2019.
Okay, so what do you have to say about whale dicks? Now I'm curious.
Did you
Come
see
on.
the thing about how, like, old sea monsters people saw were because they saw whale dicks sticking out of the ocean?
Really?
Oh, so like whales would swim kind of belly up,
'Cause
and then you'd see.
Basically, when whales mate, like, they mate in packs, and then, like, the one that's not fucking at the moment will just, like, lie on its, like, back sticking its dick out of the water, and it looks like a giant veiny tentacle thing. And there are...
Okay, so I'm gonna
Well-
open up a private window in Firefox right now and search for whale penis.
Yeah.
Whaledicks.com. Let's
Okay,
see
Okay,
what-
so
had
you
the
search
whole
for whale penis, and the first result is the Wikipedia article for blue whale penis.
Well.
Yes.
Why?
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yes,
looking
please.
at. Okay, I can see what they're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, give-
these do look a bit tentacle-like.
Gives whole new meaning to Unleash the Kraken, doesn't it?
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, they do
Oh.
legitimately look like tentacles.
I am just
Um,
going to bookmark this for later.
No,
It's for science.
okay, so this is a real thing. They do look like
It
tentacles.
definitely is for science. Thank you.
We're not going to put this in the link dump because
Come on,
Well-
Merv. Come on. Do it for
we have to
me.
you could just search whale penis, whatever you want. Just like type it into Google. I don't need to
I
like
need it
find
in
whale
the
penises for
archive,
you.
Merv.
Why are you saying it seductively? Like,
Because it's about whale
oh
penis.
yeah,
Because
Give me
that's
a
all
whale
I'm thinking
penis.
about.
oh yeah, baby, I'ma show you a whale penis. Like, don't say it like that. That's so no.
I'm not
Do it.
going to show you whale penis. You already saw it.
Who is editing this episode? Because they need to cut like 90% of this out.
I don't.
They're not. We're not. No, we're keeping it.
Like, what the fuck, you guys?
We're keeping in the whale penises.
All right. Kappa, leave it in.
We are keeping in the whalepenises.com.
You can make a cross stitch of that quote. Okay. That is.
better
that
than
is-
the fucking name of this episode.
Yeah, that is the AVoCADO Cast motto. Sorry,
Keep it in the whale
the
penis.
Gamecast. Oh Jesus, I just.
The AVoCADO cast is. What happened to the AVoCADO cast? That was the thing that you guys were doing.
It died a painful death a long time ago. Let's not bring that up.
I didn't even know one existed.
Yeah,
It did like 6 episodes, and then
it did 6 episodes, and then we were like, never mind. Let's talk about whale penises. Somewhere.
what happened to video game science? Why does everything you touch turn to dust?
Turn to
science?
dust. Yes, I will continue video game science when I'm when I have the time and I'm not depressed. That's the 2 things that have to happen.
That is fair. Because the one episode I was on, I ended up saying some pretty offensive things.
Way to
About
go, Merv.
Jesus, from what I remember, about Jesus, the Merv.
That was true. Yeah, I now there's a recording of me out
Oh,
there making
that's-
jokes about Jesus.
How dare you talk
that's-
about our Lord and Savior?
That was a special moment, Merv. I really.
Yeah, I was raised Hindu, so I probably shouldn't be making those jokes.
Nobody makes
yeah.
jokes about the Bhagavad Gita.
Nobody does. There are no good jokes to make about the Bhagavad Gita. It's just there's nothing funny about it. Although, okay, so fun language thing. The character from that epic who sort of spreads the gospel of Krishna is by the name of Narad Muni. Narad Muni is now like Hindi slang for a gossip who instigates both sides of a conflict.
Oh.
Yeah. We have a word for that in Hindi. We don't have a word for that in English. There's no way of saying that really in English.
That's like German.
Yeah.
Because who makes 6 words for ridiculous ass concepts of that. That's a sentence. You don't
Gotta
put that in
have
a
words.
single-
I mean, I think it
Yeah.
reflects. I think the slang kind of reflects the culture in some way. That is like a thing.
Untranslatable words. It's a fun thing.
Like, it kind of makes me question
it's-
how frequently that happens that you need a word for it. Like,
Hey, my parents have called both me and my sister that before.
So it must happen a lot.
It happens enough that apparently I do it. Apparently I am a Narumani. So, it is what it is. So, if you'd like to keep up to date with the podcast, you can follow us on our website at
I don't know
AVoCADO Games.
why you would after this episode.
Whalepenises.com.
So, if you like fighting games or whale genitalia,
Veiny whale genitalia.
MLA is going to ban this podcast from ever being shown on the AVoCADO from here on out.
It's rated
we've said way worse.
XXX.
We've made jokes about nuclear warfare before. We've said way worse.
We just
Okay.
the rights to the avocado name.
There has to be a line. There has to be a line somewhere, and we're going to
And
find
one
it.
day,
Damn it.
damn it, we'll find
We
it.
are going to find it one day. That's my promise.
It's
Whenever
a
I'm on
fine
an episode, I'm just going to, try my best.
We've made vor jokes on this.
Yeah, we have.
podcast before.
Yeah, we made a lot of
Um,
Yes,
strange
you
jokes.
did. I
Why
remember
did it
that.
Go for this episode, actually.
Yeah, this episode has had a suspicious lack of vor, and I think we need to rectify that. So, who wants to join me in eating some whale dicks?
No.
I want to be eaten by a whale.
So is
and
Jonah
then,
the Whale of War story?
yeah, it is.
it's
the
Jonah.
old-
No, because they don't get digested. I think there has to be some digestion taking place
Does
for
it?
the vor
Does
story.
it?
Read a lot of War comics because they
Oh.
fascinate me.
Okay.
Does it like sexual digestion is part of it, right?
Yes.
Not
Can't be,
necessarily, I
not
think.
always.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just the fact of
Where?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
it's
there-
like when
there-
Peach eats Pauline?
there has to be some mastication.
yeah.
There's
No,
one where
that's
Peach eats Pauline, and Pauline is still alive in her stomach, giving Peach reassurance for a wedding to Bowser, who is actually
Oh,
Bowser.
that's so sexy.
I think when you're making comics like that, you're not doing it for the fetishes. You're doing it to kind of just like make a joke about.
I
fetishes.
Oh, you're doing it for
No.
the fetish.
No, this is a fetish comic.
Yeah, I think you're just exploring your fetish at that point. You pretty much know what your fetish is, and you're like, let's try some new things with it.
No, no judgment. If that's your fetish,
Yeah,
cool.
just-
Go ahead.
yeah, you just
read those
explore
comics.
things.
Make those comics.
Go nuts.
Like
So was
no judgment.
was Jonah the first story to try to poke fun at the vor fetish back in the biblical times?
I mean, poke fun or just like explore
Don't
that fetish.
Well, there's no sex in the Jonah story.
but it doesn't have to be.
You don't need to have sex for, like.
There's nothing
Sex-
sexual about Jonah.
There's enough porn out there that doesn't have
There's
sex
nothing,
in it, right?
There's nothing sexy about digestion for you, Ninja. But
Okay,
there's
okay,
yeah,
okay.
for a lot of
So anyway, you can follow us on our website at
I'm
AVoCADOGamesCast.wordpress.com.
going to read about blue whales for a while. Excuse me.
Okay, so while science rubs one out, we post each episode along with a link dump that tries to fact check what we say. I don't know how you're gonna fact check this fucking episode.
No, whale dicks! Holy
Post each
shit!
episode for as long as we're legally allowed to.
We have literally made up everything we've said in this entire podcast.
Look at the whale dick, Jesus!
Yeah, we want to make more shit up. Randy Pitchford is a good dude.
Now you crossed the line.
Yeah, great guy. Salt of the earth. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play Music. Just search for AVoCADO GamesCast. And we've referenced the AVoCADO a lot. They're the community that spawned this wonderful entertainment that you're listening to right now.
Love
And
it.
you can check them out at the...
Love it.
Sorry?
They're the ones to blame for this.
I mean, you only have yourself to blame because, well, you brought
I
shit
have
up.
no one to blame. I'm bringing people enlightenment when it comes to whale penises. I am part of the gospel right now.
Okay, I just found a link to something called Whale Penis Archives.
Oh my god. Forward it to me right now.
Okay.
If this episode is not called "Dicks Out" for Whale Penis,
This is the brunt, the meat of the
Dicks out for
episode.
Shamu.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, no.
beluga balls.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like all of
Okay, so I clicked on the link and it just took me to a tag page on a site called The Luxury Spot, and there are only 2 entries for whale penis.
There are more than that. There are
Only
more
2.
than 2 entries for a whale penis, I can assure you.
One is ease your whale of a cold, which I don't think has anything to do with whale penises, and the other one is unhappy with your man? Go swimming, and then it's a big picture of an orca on its back with its penis kind of extended. There's a lot of the orca dick is really big. It's really really big.
Oh, really?
And very very red.
You paint a nice picture, Merv. Thank you. If you're listening to this podcast in a place that you shouldn't browse that, please just stop listening now. We are going to go in some very interesting places. Be with your loved one.
Hi, Ben's wife.
Yeah. Not a lot of video games with full on shaft in them, unfortunately.
Bridget,
Brady
Turgid.
is the only one that has just balls. Get it?
Oh.
Sweet.
Well, there is balls.
And shaft.
Wait, which video game has balls and shaft?
Well, balls has balls.
There's a video game called Balls.
Yes, there
There is a video
There's
game called Balls?
what's the fucking penis jousting? Genital jousting has it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that exists.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah,
And there's
Had, like a dick slider.
but that's a game where you can fuck your own ass, right? Because
Yeah.
if you curve your dick properly, you can insert it in your own anus, and you can literally fuck yourself.
And then there's the General Custer game on Atari.
Oh my.
oh yeah, Custer's
God.
Revenge. Yeah. We don't. That game has a lot of sexual assault in it, so we tend not to talk about it as
Yeah,
much.
and then there's
Because it was a different
well,
time
Atari
when you
also-
could have
Atari also has
really
Eat 'em and
racist
Eat 'em.
rape games. Yeah, not a great game, guys.
But
I
Atari also has Beat 'em and Eat 'em.
I only
Is that a
play
war game?
games with
Is this
whale
a-
penis.
beat 'em and eat 'em sounds like a war game, right? Like you beat it and then you eat
No,
it.
it's about
No,
beating
no.
and eating.
No, it's semen.
Yeah, it's
You
semen.
have-
It's all semen.
I thought you have to eat it to beat it, not beat it to
So
eat
you
No,
beat
you-
it. So
you
you
beat
beat
it.
it. You beat it into a cup and then you drink it.
No,
Something-
No, you beat it over
Some-
somebody else who eats it.
Oh, so you
It's a-
ejaculate into someone else's mouth.
It's a book.
But that implies that should be called beat it and make someone else eat
the
it. Then.
Gamecast changed into a sex cast
goal
so
is to eat it.
quickly. I have not
Barely
even
even noticed.
so quick change that it was like a
Just
like a
beat it
snap of a finger, just like
this is false advertising. I want it. I almost said I want to eat my own semen, but that.
I mean you can't, Merv. I can tell you. There's no one stopping you.
I mean, I could if I wanted to,
There you go.
but I
That's the
don't.
spirit.
It's physically possible, but I'm
What
not
are
gonna.
we talking about?
Stop being a coward, Merv.
What do you want me to do? You want me to jerk it into
the podcast?
You want me to jerk it into a cup and then eat it and then report back on the next episode and tell you how it tasted?
Back. It could be live.
That's not what you want.
I mean, it depends what you want to do, Merv. We're not pressuring you.
I don't want to do that. I just want.
We don't
I
want.
want.
to do
Okay, what I want to do is I want to play some old retro Atari game where you press buttons on a controller and that makes your player character jerk off into a cup, and then you can press another button and your character drinks whatever's in the cup. That's what I want to
In
do.
the concept, you're interested in the concept.
I'm interested in the concept of playing a character who drinks his own semen.
You want to role play a character that drinks their
I
own.
want to role play as as a semen drinker, specifically someone who drinks their own semen,
So,
not someone else's semen.
Merv wants to role play as someone who's into autofellatio. That is
Sure.
pretty much.
I didn't say autofill. I don't want to play as a character who sucks his own dick. I want to play as a character who drinks their own semen, but not from sucking their own.
Okay,
dick.
so they
like preferably someone who like ejaculates a really high arc into the air and then moves their mouth underneath the semen projectile to drink it as it falls back down into their mouth.
Man, your wife is
And
gonna
if you
love
need
this
to look up
episode.
what is snowballing, okay?
Yeah.
That's
No,
what you're
that's-
That's called. That is a name.
No,
Oh my
That's
god.
another thing.
No,
that's from
that's-
Clerks.
no,
That's from
no.
Clerks.
Yeah, snowballing is different. That's when you ejaculate in somebody else's mouth and then they
Yeah.
transfer it to your mouth.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
into your
the
mouth.
thing. We're going to
Okay.
gross out. Some people don't like that bodily stuff, fluids talk. So maybe we just like should.
There'll be
fuck,
content.
it's too
Okay.
late then.
No, in all seriousness, I actually
Yeah.
do make a point of including content warnings with every episode.
Yeah, it's-
This one is going to have a lot of content warnings.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
we're just talking about dicks
because-
and semen and stuff like that. So be aware. And maybe paste that on the front of the episode, like just.
No,
Like,
keep
I have done it
here
before.
After we finish talking about snowballing.
But
Yeah.
but look, Ben's wife
No.
is going to enjoy this episode.
yeah, it's an interesting episode. We talk about a lot of things, a plethora of stuff. So
I mean,
if
they're
we
married
talked
to
a
me,
lot about-
They're already well used to this shit.
Yeah, fighting games and semen. That's what else you're going to do, you know?
what else you gonna do?
Well, her
Uh,
her life is always on the line with that raid boss always being outside the door.
You have to. You know.
It's just a giant, rabid, ejaculating pig.
What? What? I don't think we were going there, Merv. What is wrong?
far.
Too
Come
far.
on.
Other, hey,
Come on,
Other
Merv.
humans are not the only animals that masturbate. Other animals play with their genitalia.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Let's
That's-
talk
that's-
about things
Let's talk about
involving
the video
family.
of a monkey fucking a frog's mouth then.
What? No.
What?
Wait, a monkey was fucking a frog's mouth? When did this happen?
Yeah, monkeys use
I
other
demand
animals as,
to
like,
know when this
flashlights.
happened.
There's
So,
videos
like-
of
like-
it. There's one that like picked up a frog and just starts fucking the frog's mouth, like using it like a fleshlight.
Okay, but I gotta ask, what happens if a monkey accidentally picks up a poisonous frog?
Then the monkey
Bad.
dies.
Die.
Is it like the monkey equivalent of autoerotic asphyxiation?
Well,
Oh
here's
my-
the thing.
So
There-
the monkey equivalent of autoerotic asphyxiation is when they don't get the noose off their neck soon enough.
That's.
Look,
Do monkeys? do
Which
that?
monkeys are building
Do
nooses?
monkeys are monkeys advanced enough to do that at this point? I'm not in the loop.
I am sure there are like millennia of evolution that has gone through where those monkeys know exactly what frog to pick up and put on their dicks.
Jesus
Just
Christ!
like the,
So you're saying
They have, like-
there's a symbiosis between the
Yeah,
frog and the
just like
monkey
the-
right
just
about
Oh,
like
now.
no,
how
the frog's dead, guys.
just like how the
Frog's
fish.
dead.
Oh.
Yes.
No, like,
Oh.
okay, so the way I see it is that the monkey gets their jollies off, and the frog gets a free creamy meal.
There
No,
you
the frog
go.
gets killed. The frog is dead.
Oh Christ!
Yep.
Now we're just going into
The frog is
some-
okay. Do it with a dead frog. It's just being cowardly. You got to do it with a living frog,
Oh,
right?
no, the frog's alive to start with, Merv.
They hate fuck the frog
Oh
to
my
death.
God!
Like,
I am backing
God.
out of this subject. See you.
oh god, monkeys,
Put whale
monkeys are
things to look
monkeys are so barbaric. Oh god. Okay.
It's walking away.
Oh god.
I
Okay.
have left the building.
You know, the Kappa actually kind of has to listen to all of this.
Oh yeah, it's
so-
gonna be great.
Okay.
Kappa's gonna refuse to be on any more podcasts. He's like, yeah, this podcast is done.
Yeah, we've ruined this podcast forever.
This is a perfect reason why I should never come back again.
I think it's just we can't have the four grossest people on the AVoCADO together in one room
This has been rough. This episode in particular has been a little bit rough.
You can't have all four of us because it's just not gonna.
I mean, like,
I I moderate the forum, so I can be on my best behavior. But I
This
also
is
have
where
like
we
the
get
sickest
loose.
sense of humor.
Merve, the last time I was here, it was me, Science, and Banner that was here. And
Oh.
somehow we still managed to be on much better behavior than we are now.
I have
So
no
you
idea
say
what
it's
happened.
me.
Yeah, Banner Thief is a cool dude. He's been on the podcast before.
I
For
like
those of you who
that
don't know,
one, but
and
yeah.
last time, not the last time he was on the podcast, the time before, it was me, Banner, and Science, and I think was up until now our most train wrecking
Yeah.
episode. Because that episode we ended up talking about how we would tape a bunch of Nintendo 64s together to make like a Nintendo 64, so like a Nintendo 4096.
Yeah.
And that would be like our supercomputer, and we'd play like Super Mario on it.
Man, what a good joke. Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joke was amazing. It was really funny when I just explained it right now.
Do you have to
Love
use
it.
64 of the shittiest controller ever made? Yes, I will go and die on that hill.
That controller does suck. That controller's made for three-handed people.
Yeah.
What?
And
I don't even think the three-handed thing is the worst thing about that controller. It's the fuck that joystick sucks.
Yeah.
oh, that joystick breaks so easily.
I have never in my life played with an N64 controller that didn't fuck up its joystick eventually, like after like a week.
But you know,
A
it's
week?
the
What
first.
the fuck are you doing to that joystick?
But you know,
Mario
it's the first. It's the
After like a week, unless you're just playing Mario Party all the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
time, it's gonna
Oh,
last longer
God.
than a week.
it's the
That
first
game.
analog console joystick though. So, yay!
Yeah, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's bad.
It is.
And apparently, if you play Mario Party or give it to a monkey, it's gonna get fucked up after a week.
Like a
So-
frog.
Sorry?
He said if you give it to a monkey, it'll get fucked up, just like that frog.
I
That was the
thought
implication.
you were just saying.
You
Fuck
you
that
made it
frog."
explicit.
I
You made it
thought-
explicit. You're like, yeah, let's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just heard "fuck that frog" and I was like very confused.
Fuck that. What did the frog ever do to you?
This point of this podcast, nothing.
Yeah,
Like, just
is
damn
is
fucking
that
whatever.
is that the subject?
Speaking of frogs, when are they gonna bring Frogger back?
It did get brought back on the like as a like adventure platformer, didn't it? On like
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about that. Like those are over now. When are they gonna bring back the Frogger adventure platformer? Those were surprisingly good.
Nobody makes those games
There's
anymore.
why.
Merv.
There was like
I like that kind of game. I have nostalgia for it. If they make a Kickstarter for like a spiritual successor to Frogger,
That's the only
I will
thing
back
I
that shit.
yeah, I'm sure that Kickstarter
the
would
latest
will
Frogger
be
game was in
great.
2017, Merv.
Okay, wait. What, was that like a mobile game though? Like some shit
No,
ass?
this was a casino like
Oh,
slot shit.
Hell yeah!
They fucking make a pachinko game out of everything I like. I don't. Why?
Blackout came out on Windows Store on 2013. What the fuck is this?
it's probably trash. Like Merv, you are better off. You're likely to get Gex before you get Frogger
fuck?
again.
Oh oh
Okay,
my
Ben,
god!
I need to understand what the fuck is about.
It's not even Frogger.
It's Frogger. It's just like a Frogger skin breakout clone.
I care not about Frogger, but give me Gex.
Why
Gex
would they
is
do
like-
this? This is almost as bad as what they're doing to Commander Keen.
Yeah. But
Oh,
that's what they do
no.
with those
I'm
things.
totally with you, Science. Gex needs to be in Smash Brothers.
Yes, Gex.
Gex the Gecko.
Yes.
Yes,
No, the other Gex, Merv.
the deep cover gecko. Merv, that's his full.
Yeah, Gex the Frog.
You
Apparently.
know what? I've got
Um,
an even better idea. The Geico Gecko for Smash.
Oh, Gex would fuck up that gecko.
You know what? Fuck it. Birdo for Smash.
Isn't
Birdo
Birdo
for
already
Smash.
in Smash?
No, she's not.
How,
I don't think
how
so.
has
Wait,
that not been done?
Birdo for Smash. Let's look for it.
She's not an ultimate.
No, she's not.
How has that
We gotta
not
get her in
happened?
there. She's in Mario Tennis Aces, but she's not in Super Smash Brothers.
That is blasphemy.
See,
Yeah.
you know what? That's worse than Waluigi not being there.
Yeah, I agree. And I like Waluigi.
Now, Waluigi will be the last character they ever had, right before Waguigi.
Waluigi.
No, Guigi will get.
It's like
in before
how do you make
Waluigi.
Waluigi more sexual?
Waguigi.
You make him goo. Waguigi.
Mmm.
So is that
Don't
that
say,
evil?
Are you gonna vor Waguigi? Is that what that is? Wait, is voring Waguigi just like drinking a milkshake?
Listen, Waguigi is versatile. We can do anything with Waguigi, and he
like-
will be up.
It's like you stick a straw in Guigi and they just like suck.
He's like,
And-
"Wah!"
It's like, wow.
Welcome to Waluigi's Mansion 3.
Purple, I guess.
It's like drinking. It's like drinking like thick purple Kool-Aid.
The
Well,
thickest.
See, I already think Luigi, I reckon he'd taste like fucking toothpaste, like minty toothpaste.
Salty.
Yeah. So I
Salty.
guess. Yeah. So like Waguigi would be like the blackberry version of that. It'd be like drinking a blackberry milkshake.
No, he
Look,
tastes
look at
like
Luigi,
black
he's the color of,
licorice.
like,
Let's
all
just
of-
say,
Yeah, that's perfect
Yeah.
for him.
yeah,
'Cause
black licorice.
is terrible.
I love it.
I think
have-
Waguigi would taste good. I want to drink a Waguigi.
I want to drink Waguigi, but you're saying that black licorice is horrible. I'm saying
It's
it's pretty good. It's a specific taste, okay? Waguigi knows what he likes, and people who like Waguigi also know what they like, and we coexist.
Wait, what if he hates the taste of himself so that living as Waguigi is like eternal torture?
I mean,
He's like,
Are
drink
you-
me, please.
are you-
Someone drink my licorice body.
Wait. Are you tasting yourself all the time? Because I'm not. So maybe it's not as bad as we're making out.
Merv
know.
has an auto-vor fetish.
Okay, listen. You know what Merv
Like,
has? Merv has.
Look at me. I'm licking my lips right now. I'm tasting myself.
Okay.
Like, you just taste yourself in the course of existing. It's just part of life. You have to taste yourself.
Mm.
Merv, we already learned how you want to taste yourself, so like,
That's how I want my video game character to taste himself.
And he
I
just
don't
wants
wanna-
to roleplay.
I just want to roll. I just want to role play as a guy who drinks his own semen. What's so hard to understand about that?
How about we make a Waguigi game for you that has a very similar premise?
Yeah, Waluigi is made of all the semen that came out of the cup.
Is that what Waguigi's
You
made
just-
out of?
wait, do you like pour food coloring into it? Do you like pour food coloring and cornstarch into it so it like becomes like semen modeling clay? And then you can like make your own semen.
It's how you met
Waguigi.
Waguigi. It's how you summon him.
I thought you summoned Waluigi.
It's just cornstarch, semen, and food coloring. That's all you
Have to
need.
make a lot of semen and then say Waguigi 3 times and he just coalesces.
semen. Like, can you use your own semen, or do you need Waluigi semen to summon?
You know, you need just a bunch of semen.
You just need your own semen and to really believe in yourself.
It's Waluigi.
Well, I'm
And like
out.
when you like say
Definitely
the
out.
incantation, like stirring anime, like shonen anime music plays, and then like you can see like your semen cup like transform into Waguigi,
No, Waguigi-
like magical girl
No,
like.
Waguigi
a hand
gets
comes
a-
out.
No, Waluigi.
Oh, like the master hand
Yeah.
descends from the sky and like molds the semen into Waguigi.
And then Waluigi gets a.
No.
Yes, you want
Wait.
to get the semen.
No, wait. Waguigi comes out of the cup like the girl from the ring from the well. He just like slides out in a creepy way. That's
No,
what I'm seeing.
The important thing is that Waluigi gets a platinum style title card that says Waluigi the Bukaki
Yeah, it's
Semen
like a
Demon.
freeze frame fucking.
Freeze frames. Or no, he like you do it in a clamshell, and then he emerges like naked, covering his body like Aphrodite.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I had a more
Okay.
creepy visual. You went with truly.
He went classic.
I went with like the Renaissance art,
Yeah.
naked Waguigi,
Yeah. I went
like,
with Japanese
semen
horror.
Roman goddess.
I went with Japanese horror because I think it's apt.
like you could just combine all these aesthetics into one
Jesus.
like gooey amalgam. If
I
you
hope
will.
you guys all know that we've just created Waluigi's Mansion now.
Well, the sequel, the third,
Well,
fourth game.
well, it fittingly is more sexual than Luigi's Mansion, which was already, to be fair, pretty sexual. Like, you know, the
Like-
vacuum cleaner and the sucking.
Just like a reskin of fucking Leisure Suit Larry.
Like, I don't want to know what happens in Waluigi's basements. I just don't want to know.
I think we just went into it at length about semen. Like, that's pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, I think we just talked about semen for like
Yeah,
45 minutes.
I'm spent.
Remember how you were trying to finish the podcast? And then we just like spent
Don't
an
say
hour
you were
talking
spent
about
after
semen.
we just finished talking about semen.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the joke.
Why would you make that joke? Why?
I don't know.
Cut all this
Okay,
out.
well-
Cut it all out.
Everything's getting cut. Everything's okay.
You know what? Don't even put the podcast out. We didn't even make an episode. Skip this number. Move to the next episode.
Yeah, just it's the 1 of episode.
This could be like the secret Lost episode, and we can hide it on a tape somewhere in like LA, and then someone's gonna stumble upon it one day.
I feel lit.
And it's gonna be like this cultural artifact from 30
Oh
years
my
ago.
god, I feel
Like,
very
don't-
bad about what we did this
Don't-
episode.
Don't even replace the numbering for the next episode as this episode. Just skip this number and go on to the next episode. And it just doesn't exist.
Just
Like, if this-
pretend that we
if this
didn't do
episode-
anything.
If this episode like 51, just skip it and go to 52, and then never release this episode.
Yeah.
This will just be known as like the gas leak episode.
Or just name this episode Waguigi and nobody will listen to it. That's what
Exactly.
we do.
For whale sticks,
Or-
and I'm pretty sure that'll get as many listeners.
Or just Seaman Waguigi, and then you'll just be banned everywhere.
You have to use the full title Waguigi the Bukaki Seaman Demon.
That's exactly what you got.
That's not
It is the Bukaki Seaman Demon. You do summon it by saying it 3 times, so
You just say Bukaki, Bukaki, Bukaki.
no, you
So-
say
You
Okay.
the
have
full
to say
thing.
Waluigi 3 times.
Yeah.
Waluigi.
Okay. I should point out that Bukaki only, Bukaki means Bukaki in Japan as well, but it usually, it just means poured over, right? It usually refers to,
Yeah.
pouring sauce over things.
Yeah.
Like food.
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
pour it over a glass to summon Waguigi.
Exactly, it's poured over. It's exactly how it works.
You're gonna have to ban yourself when you post this episode.
Yeah, explicit content. AO 17.
And now I have to ban myself from posting this.
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
21 years up. Nobody else allowed in.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
This is the worst. I feel
I mean, I fueled it. I fueled it with my pixelated semen.
We have
I
cause
think
for-
Waguigi moved the line like too far. This is exactly the thing that happened that breaks every.
Demon is the funniest thing I've ever fucking heard, Ninja.
I was really good.
Yeah, tasted great, guys.
I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to say anymore. It's
My
just,
life is asleep. I swear I'm waking her up laughing at this.
this is so bad.
And you can't tell her, Ben, because she has to find out when she listens to the podcast.
Oh yeah,
It will never come out. She'll never.
It's gonna be a real nasty surprise.
Oh my god.
I'm 29. I have a doctorate. What am I doing in my life right now?
This is life, Merve. This is what happens. This is.
Yeah, this is what I spent. This is what I spent over 2 decades in school for.
Yep.
Apparently,
This is it.
making jokes about semen in a cup.
Yep. Like,
This is my life now.
yeah.
So to all of the negative 15 listeners who are still here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting up with whatever this ended up being.
And you know what the
And,
name of the episode will have to be. It's just,
Waguigi.
I guess, without the
There's
whole thing.
There's like 16 options, but that is the best one.
Waguigi.
I'm so
Okay.
worried about this.
Waguigi, the Bukaki Seaman Demon.
You have to-
I'm not putting Bukaki
It's like-
Seaman.
It's like a Tribe Called
Okay.
Quest. You have to say the whole thing.
Or you're just,
So, in all seriousness, I have to be careful what I named it, what I put in episode names, because I don't want to get this thing taken down from iTunes.
you can just, you
So-
can just put in Waguigi, the BSD.
I could.
There you go. That's how
Like
you do it.
I put Cloaca in one of the episode titles, and I think that was pushing it. So yeah, I can't put Bukaki in an episode title because otherwise it's gonna get the podcast taken down from iTunes.
Wait, hold on. I
which will be
think
bad.
the best friends have actually managed to put Bukaki in a podcast title, and we're fine.
But they have money and clout,
No,
and I
they
don't have the resources to.
We don't.
I don't have the resources to fight iTunes.
That's true.
This is my day job.
After this episode comes out, we will be in debt for some reason. Like, people will come to us for money because they have been hurt by us.
I'm honestly more worried that Randy Pitchford will eventually sue us than any bad things coming from talking about Bukaki.
But Randy Pitchford doesn't have a case ever.
It's true. He doesn't really have anything ever other than boasts and squirt porn. So
Oh God. Why? Oh no.
Randy Pitchford was Waguigi.
So, Merv, we're
no,
okay.
do not taint Waguigi with the stink of Pitchford. Waguigi is our disgusting semen-based son, and Randy Pitchford
I love our son.
is trash.
Don't you talk to my son.
I love
My
our
son.
I love our licorice-flavored son. I do not love Randy Pitchford.
Don't you ever talk to my son or my son's son or my son's son's son or my son's 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 son ever again.
Exactly.
Don't you talk?
I don't want Randy's grubby little fingers fingering our Waguigi, okay?
He's putting his fingers into our semen, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that ain't
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that man ain't right. That man has problems. That man should step down and get a gearbox.
I want to say for all of our sake that Merv, you should end this podcast before we actually get sued by Randy Pitchford.
Randy Pitchford is a friend of the podcast. He would never sue
It's-
us.
Oh,
He knows that in reality
We're all
we're
Randy
really tight
Pitchford.
with him. Really tight with him. We love that guy. He's a great dude. Great for the gaming community. Great for Gearbox. Great CEO.
Mm-hmm.
He makes really great tweets.
I apologize, Randy, for all of my vile comments. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're just joking. We're joshing. We love you, Randy.
we're just
It's just a prank.
you know.
We know you just really want to make Aliens Colonial Marines the best it could be.
Yeah. It's-
We know sometimes you misspeak in public. We know sometimes you don't mean to make stuff up about games journalists. We know that you mean well, Randy Pitchford. And from the bottom of our hearts, we really love you.
That's the
But keep your hands off our semen,
So that
baby.
we fuck up.
We love you like an enema.
oh boy. Okay, Merv, please set us free. Set us free from
We love you
this.
like an enema. This suddenly turned into like a Blink-182 podcast.
This is so bad. Free us from this
This is
Waguigi
so-
nightmare.
okay.
We need to put the Ricky O ending scene at the end.
We just
We're all free now.
the aristocrats. And with that,
Da-da-ba-ba-da-bow.
boom. And with that, I'm going to call this podcast to a close. Thank you to Ninjaneer, Science is Bad, and
You know
Ben
you don't want to take
for
this.
No,
being on this
not
podcast.
for this episode.
Thank you to Finland for putting up with us.
Thank you.
And thank you to Wales for your genitalia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.